70 years ago, Godzilla was born. And now 70 years later, we get to talk about it for an entire month. We are so excited. But today, we are starting off Godzilla Month by talking about his return. His return to his dark origins, as this week we're talking about 1984's Return of Godzilla. Let's go.
Your host, Parker, Dan, and Angela slice and dice their way through the good.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
The bad.
You brought the devil!
There's a devil inside everyone.
And the ugly movies you love.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
Hold your favorite films and franchises tight, because they aren't safe. In fact, it's already too late. It's time to dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dissect That Film, a podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
And joining us once again for the third time this season, because we love him so much, or maybe we just like to torture him. It's either or. We have our good friend, Darin Lundberg, host of NOSTALGIACAST and Back To Bluey. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor to be back for the umpteenth time. I appreciate it. And it's
Yes.
not, well, tortures can be pleasurable, right? Torture can be pleasurable.
Yes. Yes, exactly. We're not talking about, mummies and Jet Li and, oh, God. But we are talking about Godzilla once again. We've talked about him a few times on this show already. As our very first episode ever of this show, we talked about the 2014 version of Godzilla. Then we talked about the 2016 Shin Godzilla, I think a year and a half after that. And then we revisited the 2014 Godzilla for our 3-year anniversary this past year. And now we're doing an entire month where we get to talk about Big G.
You forgot about 98.
Oh, yeah, we talked about one of my favorite Godzilla movies, Godzilla from 1998. Hey, you can laugh. I love that movie, and I will not.
You love it. It needs all the love it can get.
I will wear the shirt on one of these episodes. I don't care. There is no shame. It says Godzilla on that goddamn movie, okay? It counts.
Size does matter.
It is an official Godzilla film. You can't take that away from it, man.
Nope.
Oh, but today, well, actually, throughout the entire month, we're going to be talking about Godzilla movies that I'm just going to say it right now. I have not seen any of them. Any of the Godzilla movies we're talking about, haven't seen any of them. Because I've talked about this many times on the show. Godzilla to me I've always known about Godzilla, but I wasn't really ingrained into the huge history that is Godzilla. I think I was shown the 54 movie when I was young, but it was one of those, I just kind of watched it probably and just forgot about it. But 98 was the one that introduced me to the name. I know that it is hated, despised, people reject it as a Godzilla movie, even though it technically is. But that was where I was introduced to Godzilla. And so there it is. And then, being ingrained into the legendary Godzilla and what they've been doing with him, I've enjoyed that kind of ride. And then, of course, -1 kind of bringing it back to form, possibly being one of my favorite movies of the last decade. So I have grown to love and appreciate, at least start to appreciate the classics of Godzilla, with the original. We talked about Shin, which is kind of a newer creation of Godzilla, which is it was really unique, really well done. And to be honest, watching this one really brings it back to where the influence for Shin came from.
Yep.
They definitely watched 84 and went, let's do a lot of that. Let's do a lot of that. So yeah, today, of course, as I stated, we are talking about Return of Godzilla from 1984, or a lot of people just call it Godzilla 1984 because the American version of this movie is just called Godzilla 1985. It's weird. As I stated, I don't have a history. So, Darin, what is your history with Return of Godzilla?
I think, and again, I think, sorry, I don't know how much off camera like ribbing you guys have done, but since Dan and Angela were on for our NOSTALGIACAST episode of Godzilla versus Megalon, we talked a little bit about that. I think Megalon was my first ever Godzilla movie, and it's one of those things. It's so silly, and when it hits you as a kid, it just hits you in all the right places, right? And so I've been addicted. The kick and everything, right? It's silly as it gets. Megalon was my intro to that world, and I think. If I'm looking, thinking about my memories of Godzilla. I think '85 was like my next big. I think that was the next movie that I watched and got addicted to. It had the Vestron video, or whatever the VHS cover was, but it was the Raymond Burr version. When you're a kid, you think this is Godzilla. You don't know that it's been futzed with. You don't know that it's like an Americanized. They went and filmed Raymond Burr for like a day. They went and shot with him or something like that. It's just Godzilla. And so it was just, again, it was a movie that I watched again and again and again and again. It was my childhood. I don't really have, you read like the Leonard Maltin review, it gave it 0 stars, something like that. You read the Ebert review, gave it 1 star. It's not that bad for like, you know how you watch movies when you're a kid and then you watch them again. And then it's like, what was I thinking? Watching this again, I was like, yeah, this isn't, we'll talk about my feelings on it, but it's not terrible. There are still worse Godzilla movies. I still like again, it's interesting watching Megalon and then going right to the '85 about the somber, serious Godzilla treated as a nuclear weapon kind of thing. And then that's when I started watching everything else. And, I think we talked about that too, Dan and Angela. It's like the 54 version. That's once you watch that, you're like, oh, this is what Godzilla is. And then you start reassessing your brain, according to the tag team monster fights that they have. It's just, so again, Godzilla's just been huge since I was a kid. Those are my 3 loves. I think I mentioned that before on here. It's Godzilla, James Bond, and Transformers. So he's just been ever present. And I can't remember when I watched Megalon, but it must have been when I was young.
Speaking of the Siskel and Ebert review on the '85 version, our friend Antonio over at the Cultworthy, he has another show called Back to the Balcony, where they literally, him and his co-host Justin, from the Movie Wire, they go through a bunch of Siskel and Ebert reviews for movies, and they kind of put their 2 cents on it, and they kind of go over if they agree with the reviews from the reviewers and all that, and they went into Godzilla 1985. So if you want to hear all about the Siskel and Ebert review on Godzilla 1985 and what their thoughts are on it, please check that episode out. I'll throw it in the show notes in the video description, because it's, for one, it's a great show, but 2, it was a very eye-opening coverage of that review, because Siskel and Ebert is just they were just reviewers who were all over the place on movies, and some of them would be they're just like front porch, like old people yelling at people to get off their grass type people.
Yeah.
You enjoy that? You stupid son of a bitch.
Pretty much.
But I
know Ebert gets a lot of flack, but Siskel, he was really hard on those slasher movies, to the point where I think he gave the address of one of the actress or the director of Friday the 13th. Gave it out.
It was we covered it.
Part 1?
Silent Night, Deadly Night. That was the movie that people's addresses or people's phone numbers and stuff were being sent out.
Like, whoa.
Speaking of someone who stupidly sent their fucking phone number out to somebody and got hacked on Instagram. Stupid asshole. That was me. Dan, Angela, we've heard your guys' history on Godzilla, but what is your history with Return of Godzilla?
I don't know how many times I've watched it.
You just have it on repeat. Like, God.
No, we
need that Dr. Pepper.
Was this your first time watching the Japanese version? Because this is my first time watching the Japanese version. I didn't mention that, but you guys have watched this multiple times, the Japanese
We
one?
usually watch the Japanese version.
Oh, okay.
Just because.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the original version, so.
Fair. Well, you speak your piece about it, and then I'll.
I can't speak my piece. I can't give my feelings away.
No, I meant what about your...
No, what's your history with it?
Oh.
I don't know if you had...
Just watching it with Dan?
No, yeah, just watching it with him. We've probably watched it 2 or 3 times, but it's been a long time since we watched it the last time, so.
I remember my ridicule with this movie. So... Fuck. What happened here? I grew up 85, like most people did, I think, of our generation. with all the Zoids and Raymond Burr and Dr. Pepper and weird edits to the film, and I'll talk about later. But I actually, for a long time, only seen that version. And then I got really big into Godzilla into my later teens and early 20s. And there was a small convention we had, which is actually much larger now. And I did a panel one year about Godzilla. Because, like, you know what? They need extra panels. I'm just going to talk about Godzilla for like 30 minutes for shits and giggles. So really rudimentary, like Kaiju 101 stuff, right? Super basic. What I didn't know is in the audience was, for those of you that are into anime, what's her name? Tiffany Grant was a long-running voice actress for ADV films, Funimation, stuff like that. And her husband, I can't think of his name for the life of me, but he was the AD director for a lot of ADV stuff, and decided to point out the fact that, no, I had not seen the Japanese version of Godzilla 1985 during this panel. So, yes, sorry, sir. I have seen it since multiple times. But anyway, I just want to point out that little tidbit.
Matt Greenfield.
Matt Greenfield, thank you. So if you're familiar with the original even Neon Genesis Evangelion dub, that's the people. And plus, Tiffany Grant did one of the main characters in the dub of the Gamera trilogy, the 90s Gamera trilogy. So anyway, moving past it. But I did not see this till way later. And that is about the long and short of it without getting in like super ranty. But yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the original one multiple times growing up, and the 85, and then the original Godzilla, Return of Godzilla, whatever you want to call it. I've seen only a handful of times.
All right. So, Return of Godzilla was directed by Koji Hashimoto. It was actually asked upon the Honda, the original director of Godzilla. He was asked to come back to direct this, since this was a sequel to his original movie. But he didn't like the direction that they were bringing Godzilla in. He didn't like the fact that they made him bigger. Like, that was a huge thing that I read, was like, he originally was like 50 meters tall, which I'm an idiot. I don't know how tall that is in feet.
150
It's tall.
feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they changed him from 50 meters to 80 meters because in the original, set in 1954, the skyline of Tokyo was vastly different from the skyline of Tokyo in 1984. So they didn't want Godzilla to look smaller. They didn't want him dwarfing the building, so they made him taller to seem more imposing, to be able to do the things that he does in the movie. But like, all of the original people who were involved in the original Godzilla movies weren't fans of it. They're like, no. Like, the original composer was like, I can't write music for an 80-meter Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like, what? Just coming up with something funny.
I think that was even misconstrued. Like, he didn't. I don't know if he actually said that, but it became like lore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And then I think Honda too, which is fascinating. He was friends with Akira Kurosawa, so I think he was making Ron or something at the time.
Yeah, he was.
So if you have a choice between working for Akira Kurosawa and maybe doing the umpteenth Godzilla movie.
Yeah, especially towards like the
choice.
end of your career. Yeah.
When you moved on, I guess.
And plus, if you have standing obligations, which is Akira Fukube's, what was allegedly elaborated on was his real reason, because he was teaching music.
Yes.
In Tokyo,
yeah. I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, I figured you were.
Yeah. But Honda recommended Hashimoto, the director of this, Koji Hashimoto, who would go on to direct pretty much the rest of his career was just Godzilla movies. He directed the 85 one, which I'm guessing he got the directing credit because it was just footage from this movie added with other footage to make it the Americanized version. But he would go on to direct, let's see.
All of them. No, I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Is it kind of like the James Bond series where if you do put in the work, they'll just give you more work? It's like loyalty that's rewarded. Is that what Godzilla is too?
I guess so.
Probably. I don't know.
Well,
I know
he worked up in the ranks, it seems like.
Okay. So
I know he did a lot. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's weird because I literally just looked at his
Keep going. Angel's got it here.
Okay, never mind. I found it. Oh,
Okay.
it's okay. So technically, all right, let me fix what I said. Technically, he only directed this movie, along with the 85 version. So the reason that he is credited as a director for Godzilla vs. Biollante, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Godzilla vs. Destroya, Godzilla Tokyo SOS, and Godzilla Final Wars is because they used clips from his movie, which then gives him some sort of credit with whatever movie it's associated with. So that's why at first I didn't see the earlier film clips, original material, earlier film clips, uncredited. So he was like uncredited in all of those other Godzilla movies, but he only directed Return of Godzilla and Godzilla 1985. Because I literally was on Wikipedia like, huh? What? Why is it? All right. Sure.
Well, it does not count some of his earlier work as like second unit assistant director.
Oh, yeah.
He's majority of the original films. So
right.
He did a lot of work there too.
Yeah, and that's why Honda recommended him, was because he had worked with him so many times and he was involved in the original. Let's see.
So it seemed like Honda had enough respect that even though he couldn't do it, he wanted people that could do it to do it. Seems
right.
Like, yeah. I like that they respect this franchise enough.
It was written by Tomoyuki Tanaka, who, let's see, he's
the creator of Godzilla, isn't he?
He's usually the producer role.
Yeah, I mean, he's been involved with everything Godzilla up until 1995. He also was the producer. The screenplay was done by Shuichi Nagahara. Cinematography was done by Katsumi Hara, which the cinematography in this movie is great. Because even with the fact that that a lot, like 75% of this movie is miniatures, and they're so good. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. We'll talk about some shots.
Absolutely. Yeah. The music was done by Rijuro Koroku.
They did a pretty good job.
He wrote the score in 4 days.
Oh,
he did a good job to me.
Crazy.
I thought it was good.
The Godzilla theme, the army theme, those are all really good. And then the only one that I laughed at was the Goru, what's the girl's name? Naoko. Their theme, I laughed at that because it had the 70s woodwinds kind of sound. That made me giggle. But other than that, really good.
I love that opening theme.
Yeah,
the main
it's really good.
Movie. It's really good.
They didn't use Ifukube's original. They used none of that, right? Even though they kind of hinted at it.
Suckers.
No, I literally went through the entire movie and I was sitting there listening to the awesome song at the end, like watching the credits, and I'm like, I'm like, I don't think I heard the Godzilla theme, like the original Godzilla theme. I'm kind of disappointed because it's just so ingrained into my brain, just based on watching. I rewatched the original not that long ago, and then of course, like them incorporating it into the new Legendary stuff, especially Godzilla King of the Monsters. They really. Bear McCreary was like, I'm doing this and I'm fucking doing it good. And to be honest, Bear McCreary's Godzilla theme is one of my favorites. It's so good.
Blows out your speakers. Yeah.
It's so good.
Bring him back for the next
one. Seriously. I don't.
But still, this theme I thought was pretty good.
It was good. No. I really liked it. The score for this movie fits this movie because this movie is set in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It's an 80s synth theme. And an 80s score. And I'm just like, I was like, this is perfect. It feels at home with all the other 80s movies that we've covered on this show.
Dude, I'm telling you, listen, people, we'll talk about this later. And I think they'll still have time. If you're fucking free on Patreon, vote for this shit if you want a weird 80s synth soundtrack, because it'll blow your fucking mind. It did the first time I watched it. We might as well just plug the Patreon right now. So go to patreon.com/dissect that film, because as we said, this is a month entirely dedicated to Godzilla. We are doing nothing else but on Godzilla, except for one thing that we talked about on the pre-show. But that was just Dan's crazy idea, and we're just going to go with it. But we are there'll be 4 Godzilla episodes, 3 picked by each one of us, and then 1 is picked by you guys on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/dissect that film, become a free member. You don't even have to pay for it. We don't even want your money. We just want you to go in there, sign up at the free tier, vote for whatever Godzilla movie you want us to cover. Also, we are going to be covering a Godzilla movie on our Monster Zone show as well, and we're going to make that
free for the month of November. So even if you are, I apologize for anybody paying for that top tier who get that show, but this month we're going to make it free. We just want Godzilla. We just want to throw all the Godzillas at you, and it's going to be great. We're also going to be covering the first 2 episodes of the Godzilla 1998 TV show, the animated series. We're going to be covering that. That will be exclusively on Patreon. So if you want to join us over there, and join in, help us financially, or you can join at the free tier, but go over there, vote for those movies. We're going to be putting another poll up for the Monster Zone as well. So it's going to be great.
What are the movies for the first?
For the for this month, it's going to be it's Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla Final Wars, and Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah.
Oh yes. So techno Godzilla theme, 80s club Godzilla theme, real thing, or Godzilla playing soccer, or
You stop it.
But hey, in Final Wars, isn't that where fucking Zilla gets her ass kicked?
Godzilla fights American Godzilla in that movie. Yes,
Yeah.
to Sum 41.
Oh my god!
Held to blame by Sum
I
41. I shit you not.
I think we already found the winner, right?
It's gonna win it. It doesn't matter. I ruined it.
Hey, question on the Godzilla 1988 cartoon: was Nick Topopopoulos, was he part of the show, or was
He
it
sure
just
was.
written?
So
Oh, right.
you want to know?
I
You want to
love
know?
Nick
You want to know the
Topopopoulos.
Nick Totopoulos? Get it right.
It's top of pop.
That's what I said. Papapopoulos.
No, so the premise of that show is, so you've seen Godzilla 98, right?
Yes. You know,
Do you remember it? Do you remember the
Yes.
movie? Okay. So at
when
the
I
end of the
saw
movie,
it in New York, and so it was a great experience.
That's awesome.
in New York.
Oh, there you go.
And
That's
then when
awesome.
you watch it at home, when they was breaking through the Brooklyn Bridge, the theater, again, you're convinced that you're watching the best movie ever made. And I remember getting it on video, and I watched it. I was like, "What is this shit?" Like, it was completely different. But yeah, I remember everything because that experience in the theater was great.
I probably would have been the same way as you if I had that experience. But my first experience was watching it on my grandma's 25-inch box TV in her living room. She had the VHS, and little Parker was like, "This is the best dinosaurs."
Adjust the tracking.
Actual voice.
No. that was how it sounded. What was I saying? Oh, the premise of the show is the egg that you see at the end of the movie that cracks open.
Yeah.
That becomes the new Godzilla, and and Nick Totopoulos becomes like its mother. Like, it finds him, and he gets like a bond with him, and so it turns into the Godzilla that like protects New York City and fights other monsters, like classic Godzilla. So it's like it's the Godzilla. I think people watch that show and were like, "This is what we wanted in the movie. Like, we wanted this. We didn't. What was that?"
We don't want pansy Godzilla that ran away from everything. This is like Godzilla like fights some shit.
Yeah. And lame Siskel and Ebert jokes, bringing that back.
Absolutely, that too.
Yeah, and a really cool Diddy song.
Yeah.
We can't like him anymore.
We don't want to come with him.
Oh,
Oh.
it's involuntary.
So they wanted to bring the original Dr. Serizawa back, Akihiko Haraka. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Or close?
Yep.
That's about right.
He became ill pretty much right before they were going to film whatever he was going to do in the movie, and I guess he actually died right before the movie came out.
He was showing up at like festivals dressed as that character, so he totally would have done it, I think.
Oh yeah, he was super down. He literally was like, I guess he was in the hospital still talking about like wanting to do it. Like, he was like,
"Come film me in my hospital bed."
Like, once I'm out, I'm there. But I guess he was really sick. So
yeah,
that's
because he went on.
unfortunate.
He did a bunch of other Godzilla movies in the Showa era after that. So most people don't realize. So it's cool.
Again, that level of respect that these people have for the show is awesome.
Yeah.
For the series, not show.
The Godzilla suit in this movie weighed 242 pounds, and suit actor Dan, please say the name.
Kenpachiro Satsuma.
There we go.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a time with this movie. They like I guess they were like doing things without him being fully in the suit
Ugh.
that was actually leaving scars and like burning him and all of this shit. And I'm like, why?
Puncturing his feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a good experience for him. He was literally fighting with crew members to be like, listen, I need to be in the suit fully before you do any of this shit. Any of the pyrotechnics, any of the explosions, I need to be in the suit.
But it wasn't meant for him, right? It was meant for somebody else before.
Yes, he was a last second like throw in to be in the suit.
Which is very similar to the original movie, because Haruo Nakajima was not the original guy to just do it. The other dude that was going to do it with him dropped.
Yeah.
And then it was just him pretty much to do. I mean, there was some other people that helped, but he pretty much did the brunt of the work.
So there's an audio like story that's on YouTube right now where it's like this weird fantasy, like it's a true story, but it's not true, about the original suit actor of Godzilla, where like
I know what you're talking. Yeah, my son showed me this.
Was
I
like,
know what you're talking about.
Like he eventually like starts like forming into the suit and like he starts becoming the suit type thing. I've heard it's really, really good. I really need
analog horror.
Yes, I'm like I gotta listen. I gotta check it out because I've heard it's really, really good and just terrifying. I was like, man, just make that movie. Make that movie, Toho.
That'd be cool.
Like
that'd be cool.
Like just get permission from the. I mean, hopefully the family's cool with it. Just kind of make some weird ass, or you didn't have to use his name. Just kind of like create like a fictional version of that whole experience. It doesn't even have to be Godzilla. It could just be, you know, just this classic monster. And then, oh man, I think it'd be a great fucking movie. So this was released December 15th, 1984. When was do you remember the release date for the original? Was it like pretty close to 30 years exactly?
It's November 3rd.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, November 3rd. So yes, it was right after the 30th anniversary of the original Godzilla. It had a budget of $6.25 million and made $14 million at the box office. And they don't care if the movie makes money, because they're just going to keep making Godzilla movies.
I think even in Japan, it came in when it opened. It came. I think if I read it that right, it came in third after Ghostbusters and Gremlins in Japan. So even their own Godzilla, which they are promoting, it came in third.
Hey, Dan, guess what?
What?
This is going to be celebrating its 40th anniversary this year.
It is.
Did it again.
Oh, no. Well, because see, this has to be like any of the 10s for Godzilla's or 5 movies.
That's
like,
true. Yeah, that is true.
All of them, baby. So it pisses me off. All right. Listen, I want a 50th anniversary for fucking Mechagodzilla this year, but no, it's going to be 60th for King Ghidorah and 40th for Destroyer or some shit. And they're just going to ignore it. And I'm going to be pissed about it. Carry on.
Okay. All right. So I guess the idea for this movie went all the way back to like the 70s. It was going to be like Resurrection of Godzilla.
Was this after Terror of Mechagodzilla that they were trying to recover from?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they were trying to escape the goofy side of Godzilla. They were like, "Ooh, we need to figure out some way of bringing him back to the dark side, to making Godzilla a true villain."
Except 74 and 75 were like the two of the most serious, like dark element movies since the original at that point.
Okay.
So, which I know you hadn't seen them yet, but that's fair, because at that point it was just goofy stuff for the most part. So
yeah.
Godzilla, what terrible language.
Yes. More swearing Godzilla.
The thing about Godzilla, though, that I've always, I don't know if it's not like I hate it, but his eyes just always look derpy to me.
In this one,
even in this one, like I know what they're trying to do, because like Godzilla is back to being like that true villain, like he was in the original, or just a misunderstood monster. But they would like show close-ups of his eyes, and I know they're supposed to be a scowl, but his eyes are like looking like in two different directions. And I'm like, oh Lord, what's going on?
He looks
with Godzilla
he looks like Carrie Russell in Mission Impossible 3 when the bomb goes off in her head. I don't know if you guys remember her eyes.
Oh, that scene. Oh my God.
That's funny. You're not wrong. My dad used to say about God, what was it? Mothra versus Godzilla. The 64. Like it's his eyes, they kind of look like ping pong balls a little bit.
I mean, that's what they look like. And the thing is, you know, not knowing much about Godzilla's prior to this one, Did they make his mouth like scowl and like actually his lips move like in
No.
other ones before this, or was this kind of like the first time they actually made his face very expressive?
The Mothra versus Godzilla one, his upper jowl would shake, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think-
that was on purpose. It was just the rubber or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a design mistake to like actually have like the animatronic bits. I believe this was the first movie to
Okay.
do that.
Because they really
So-
got close to it and was just like, you
Yeah.
saw him like scowl or like growl and his upper lip.
Do
would,
the
like, come out.
eyes look equally derpy on the mechanical head versus the suit head? Do they?
I think they
or
look-
is there a difference?
I think they look less derpy because in the Cybot, because there was two. There's essentially the suit version, and then there was like the giant animatronic version.
Mhm.
And the eyes could actually move independently, so they could like face.
Oh.
And there was a slight mold difference to the head too. They tried to be close, but it wasn't exact.
And that was a cool idea because Godzilla, I think the misconception is that they tried to have their own King Kong. But again, I think we mentioned before, Dan, it was mostly Beast from 20,000 Fathoms that inspired Godzilla. But
Yep.
then it's funny because now when the 76 King Kong, De Laurentiis had the giant robot, they tried to do that. They took inspiration from that for the giant.
Yep.
I'm curious why they did, what they thought the difference was going to be having this giant Cybot versus the suit. Does anybody have any idea why they decided to do? Was it make it more real?
I'm guessing they just
I
wanted to
get-
go in a different direction. They just wanted to do something new with it, especially going back to kind of its origin in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because the Cybot would shake a lot of the time.
yeah.
But
You'd
gave
see
it like
kinda, like,
stop
tremor a little
motion.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of feel.
And I wonder if it was like you were talking about Parker and such, was to give more of expression up close, because the suit you're limited. Like they started adding more of that stuff, but they weren't there yet.
Yeah.
If you had just this entirely
Okay.
dedicated thing, I'm assuming, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, let's see what we could do with technology now,
Right.
since they had extra bucks to spend on this movie.
Yeah.
Which is strange because growing up on Godzilla, I wouldn't need the more expressiveness. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I get that it's a guy in a suit. I don't need that. That they went that way is great, but I don't know how it would have affected my opinion of the movie if they just kept with the suit face.
So
Yeah, no, of course.
from what I just looked it up. So effects director Teruyoshi Nakano was the one who convinced Toho to invest on the giant Godzilla Cybot, though he lamented how difficult it was to work with. So Toho would make use of the prop, but using it heavily with promoting the movie instead of actually using it in the movie. I mean, they used it in the movie, but not as much as they did, I guess, promoting it.
Actually, they're actually because this will come out right around that time. I think it's right around November or December this year, and you can get them through the Godzilla store here in the United States, ordering it. But they're releasing a figure of the Cybot because other
Oh, really?
companies have done it, but Bondi is releasing one. They're doing
that's cool.
just
Oh,
a couple around that. I think they're doing a regular 84 re-release, and then they're doing one of the Cybot.
cool.
So-
I got myself a Godzilla, the special edition Japanese Godzilla -1 Blu-ray. I'm so fucking happy that I
Nice.
snagged
Nice.
it. They did a second issue,
Yes,
and they sent me an email, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I don't even care. I don't care what the price is. Buy it."
yep.
and I
Ours
did.
is on the shelf. It was
It doesn't ship out
Okay.
until December, so I'm kind of bummed. So I won't probably see it till like January, but I'm just happy that eventually I'm gonna
Late
have it in the
Christmas.
collection. Yeah, exactly.
It got pretty quick
Merry
for
Christmas
us.
to myself.
yeah, there you go. It got to us pretty quick. It only took a couple days. So once it got
Is
here.
the demand just really high for it? Is that why, or they just didn't make enough copies?
don't
I'm
know.
guessing the demand because
Everybody loves
I
that one.
was I missed that first because I'm very every time I say I'm going to buy something, I get very hesitant about it. I'm like, oh, do I really want to spend that much money right now? And then by the time my brain goes, just do it, I go there and it's gone. Like I can't find it anywhere, or it's on eBay for like
Relatable.
double the price, and I'm like, I'm
Oh,
not spending $130 for a Blu-ray. It's just not happening. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to buy the one that gets released here. And then I get the email from Godzilla Shop, and it was like, we're back in stock, and I was like, immediately, just didn't even think about it. It was like, I'm buying it. I need
I
it.
will say honestly, I'll probably buy the English version.
Oh, I will too, just because I want
buy
those
both of
special.
them.
I want those special features where I can actually understand them. Because on the thing, it's like special features in Japanese, no English subtitles. I'm like,
Oh,
all right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to have my phone out with Google Translate. Just be like,
Tell me.
what are you saying? Or I need to learn Japanese. This was the
Hey,
last film.
Duolingo.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Almost a
To be
year
honest, if
in.
I were to learn a language, I think it would be Japanese because I'd like to go to Japan someday. I think that'd be fun.
That's
the plan.
That's on our bucket list.
Well, sorry, a little bit of a tangent, Parker, but I know what you mean about not buying. Like, I've been waiting. I don't usually buy my physical media unless it's under $20. It's just a thing. Like, why? I don't want to do that. But that copy of The Abyss that you couldn't get, I waited and waited, and I was like, it's never going to go below 20.
No.
So I bought it for like $50. Like, just bite the. I need that. So I understand what you're talking about.
I'm kind of like that with the Guyver. Like, I missed
Yes.
the initial release of the Guyver when it came out in 4K. I didn't get it. And now I'm like wanting it really bad. And everywhere I'm looking is like $55, $60. And I'm like, I don't, it's one of those things just like, that's a movie where I'm like, I just don't care. It's one of those that would be cool to have. But it's like, I'm not spending $60 on a Blu-ray. Godzilla -1?
Yeah.
I sure did because that movie is fucking perfect. So this was the last Godzilla movie to have special effects art director Yoshiyuki Inouye. Oh boy, I probably just butchered the shit out of that name. But he worked on the original Godzilla.
Yep.
In 1954. So
is this included in the Showa eras? It's
so
or is it not?
technically, from what I've read, it is technically in the Heisei, right? Or
Okay, it's
Heisei, the Hensei, or whatever.
It's Heisei.
It's
and
Heisei.
Rei it's REI. So Hei is HEI.
Okay.
SEI. So yeah, so Heisei. So technically, it's a Showa film because the Showa era it's based on emperors or something like that in Japan, and that ended in '89. But because of the direct correlation of this film with the subsequential films in that grouping, they just include it in the Heisei era. So
it's kind of like me, like the astronomical signs. I'm either a Capricorn or Aquarius, depending on which one you're looking at, because my birthday's January 20th. So it just depends. I'm in between two worlds.
I got
so
you.
it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what technically is Godzilla -1? Like what?
Reiwa.
The same one that's
the
going
newest
now.
period.
Okay.
Yeah, Reiwa would be the newest period.
Wait,
so it's designed.
Well, you said it's based on emperors,
something like that.
Like,
I don't
like
understand
current emperors, or did they just take emperors from back in the day and they're just like, let's just name all the Godzilla generations off of this?
People just tell me this is how this shit works, and I just
Right.
believe this is how it works. I really don't know because, like, I was like, oh, it's this. And, like, people are like, no, technically it's this. So, like, the newer Godzilla films, like after the Heisei era, everybody called them the Millennium era, but they're still technically Heisei films because it's still the Heisei era at that point. It's just, I don't know. It's how it fell. Anyway, carry on.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff for behind the scenes of this movie, but I think we need to hop into the plot of this, and then if I see anything, we can plug it into it.
All right, Paul. So I think it's time we, made a trailer.
Do we have to?
Like, people keep asking, so we're gonna deliver.
Well, what are we supposed to do in this damn trailer?
We're just gonna talk about shit we do here. We theme our months, right? Like, what do we?
I mean, I know we've done stuff like musicals and animation months and creature features, all sorts of stuff, but is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's something kind of like that. That I'm probably gonna sit there and tell people, we're on all social medias. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's all under Flicks and Friends podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. If they're not tired of hearing that by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll work. Should we press record?
Yeah, let's press record right now.
So, it's time to dissect that.
Dissect that.
Boom! The movie opens to a ship, the Yahata Maru number 5.
Yep.
And all I think was Mambo number 5. Boom.
My name is in that.
Sure is.
Sexy.
So we are.
What's the ship from the original one called?
Don't ask me.
It's not the Hotamaru as well, is it?
Could be.
Oh boy.
It's the lucky. Keep going. It's
this
the
is
lucky dragon.
I mean, this is the number 5, so I'm guessing there were 4 other ones.
You're asking Parker, who
you're asking
watched
me
this for the first time.
Dude, listen. It's a generalized question, all right? It's not Bodie McBoatface, so don't fucking say it.
Well,
He
now
always
it is.
asks me stuff, and I'm like, why are you asking me?
What is Japanese for Bodie McBoatface?
It's the Eiko Maru is what the original ship is.
Thank you. Which is, I think it was like Lucky Dragon or something like that, roughly.
Yeah.
So we are outside of Daikoku Island. Did I say that
Yes.
Okay. And it's 3 months after an eruption that happened on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, of course, I feel like all Godzilla movies do this, or just like all big monster movies do this, where it starts off people on a boat, and there's people like, of course, it's like rough seas and things are going on, and there's just one dude who's just like clinging to something, like sickly looking, like he is just not having a great time every time. Like it's just like, yep, that's how we're gonna start it off, guys.
This is what we were talking about. I was like, this is such a Toho opening. It's like, this just makes me think of my biggest one of this is the actor's not in it. I wish he was. I don't think he is. But the opening to War of the Gargantuas, it's the same shit. It's just like middle of the night, boat, rain everywhere.
And there's just this one dude who's just like,
Iron Giant.
Feel good.
The Iron Giant opens the same way with a ship.
Motherfucker.
It definitely was an homage. I feel like that definitely was a homage.
But I do like what's the character's name that's on the boat? It's Hiroshi, right?
Yes,
Okamura. I do like though that it makes him instantly identifiable when Goro shows up later and finds him in the locker. That's the guy that was front. So I like that. That's again. You're saying it's very Toho, but I think it's very classical storytelling that you can do that and identify something, right? So
yeah, of course.
So I didn't go through the cast, but I'll go through the cast as we get introduced to these characters. So Hiroshi Okamura is played by Shin Takuma. So yeah, the island comes alive. And you look and see like you see something like starting to emerge from the island, and you see him look out the window, and then it just cuts to black. And then a pop song starts to play as a dude on a little sailboat just starts going along, and he's like, I wonder what that is. Looks like a boat. But it's got this weird poppy song, and then there's like a newscast going on too about how they found the boat and they didn't find any survivors or something like that.
I didn't have time to check. Is it the same pop song that plays at the end, or
No.
is it a different pop song?
It's a different one. Because this one's actually in Japanese. The one at the end is in English. Could be the same song, though, just the English version of it. I don't know.
Yeah. You could have started off with Goodbye Now, Godzilla, my friend. You could have done that. It was
Yeah. Sayonara. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. I was singing it.
Good stuff.
It's good times.
Poor Goji.
So yeah, he gets to the boat. This is Goro Maki, played by Goro Maki, right? On the sailboat. Okay. This played by.
Can we talk about how prolific this? Oh, go ahead. No, finish.
He's played by Ken Tanaka.
Can we talk about how prolific this name is in the Godzilla franchise?
Go for it, Dan.
Goro Maki is the name of another reporter
from
1967, Son of Godzilla, which just is kind of like a remake of that character. And then Goro Maki was the dude that created or aided in the creation of Shin Godzilla in Shin Godzilla, because that was his boat where they find his abandoned boat at the beginning. Yep.
Oh, there we go.
It's just a
Connections.
It's not the same character, except for this one's kind of like a remake, but it's just the continual use of this name.
It's an anniversary movie, right? So you're tying him in with previous ones. It's kind of like Easter eggs for fans. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
That's what we're doing now.
Remember that motherfucker that wouldn't eat the food and he went to the island because he wanted a story? Well, now he's here, but we're not doing food. He's just on a boat, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hops onto the boat and he explores it and finds a bunch of dead bodies. And I was like, God damn, this is some good effects work and like creepy bodies that he is finding throughout this boat. They all look like they've been sucked dry by Imhotep. And
that was a good tie in with a lot. That was a good Psycho reference where he turned the body around and it was just completely emaciated or whatever. I thought that was cool.
I was like, I wasn't expecting this from a Godzilla movie, to be honest.
I don't know if it did. If you dare, this scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, especially where Goro is crawling away and the hand drops down.
Yeah,
and like as a kid, I'm like, one of these bodies is going to come alive and chase after a man. I can feel it.
But also, you get like 100%. You also get him going through like the what is it called on a ship where they all sleep? Is it
the brig?
The brig or the galley? No, the galley is like the cafeteria, right? I don't.
The brig is where they put bad
boat terms. But yeah, he goes to where everybody's sleeping, and there's like.
The quarters.
It's not like blood on the floor. It looks like it's like goo.
Milk.
Yeah, it's like, is this what's like secreting from these dead bodies? Like that's all I could imagine. And he slips it. It looks like yogurt, like nasty strawberry yogurt.
Like yogurt.
It's yogurt with a little flavoring in it.
Yeah,
there's some red to it. Like
it's chunky. Yeah.
Well, my son was there. Like he started going down the steps, and my son was there, and I was like, "Oh no, he found a knife on the ground, and there's blood all over the walls." There wasn't blood, but there was a knife. But then he goes in the room, and there's just blood all over the walls. Like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of the stuff.
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It is the stuff.
It is the stuff. Which
This
fun
stuff
fact
came out after this, right?
Fun fact. The trailer for the stuff would actually show before this movie.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Tie-in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
It's like the Ghostbusters logo later in the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
So he then finds a guy who's not dead in a locker, and then
That's
gets
the guy. What was his name again? You said it earlier, Darin.
Hiroshi.
Yeah, that's it. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okamura, because that's his first name. They keep calling him Okamura. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets attacked by a giant bug that shoots blue rays.
His name's Shockerus.
Oh.
Yeah.
It has a
sea
name.
louse, right?
Yeah, it's a giant killer sea louse that flies.
Didn't they explain that the reason that they're so big is because they've been eating off of
feeding
Godzilla?
off Godzilla, yeah.
Yeah, so they've been ingesting
it's like radiation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when they used this idea again in Cloverfield?
Oh yeah, oh gosh. Much better in Cloverfield. This made me laugh though when the thing is like flying. I was like, oh, that's great. Like it stops being scary after a certain point. Like, oh no, like when it jumps on the ceiling.
But when it pins him,
that was funny.
When it pins him to the ground though, and it's got like the pinchers that are about to like stab him in the neck, I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah. Like trying to stab a watermelon.
Yeah.
Yes. He's like, it doesn't work. But it's cool because like you could see where the crew already did damage to him because there was like a harpoon broken off. That was where he stabbed into the Shockerus, and he like stabs it on the underneath. Yeah. Never would have flown in the old Godzilla movies, dude. Never.
But Parker, like you said, I do like that it wasn't just silly stuff. I like that they went in and said, why was it so big? It's like, oh, it's because it was probably feeding off the radiation. I like that they actually did that. It wasn't just some silly, stupid. The movie keeps doing that. We'll keep coming back to it, but it keeps doing these scientific explanations that I liked. I like that it did that.
Well, it's like, it's not just a random thing that just showed up on this island. It actually has a premise. So yeah, we get this whole thing.
You could have done that and it wouldn't have mattered because again, we're used to regular Godzilla movie, but I like that they did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they talk about how there's a monster on this island that shoots a blue ray, and we're like, oh, I wonder who that could be. Nobody believes the guy about the ship and the story. I like how there's just this random woman who is like, I guess she works with him, but then you never see her again. And you're like, okay,
I'm fine with that. Can't have a secretary, I guess.
Yeah. So the guy, Hiroshi, is in the hospital. He's being kind of like kept away from everybody because they kind of want to keep this whole story hush hush. But he talks to his boss, who is,
I can't remember,
Professor Makoto Hayashida, played by Yosuke Natsuki.
Yeah, because he finds out about because oh God, Goro finds out about it because he tries to run the story he wrote, and the editor, they're like, you can't do this because blah blah blah. Here's this dude. He's kind of over the shit. Go talk to him.
Yeah,
but again, I do like that it's like, well, the government has put a kibosh on the story. They know it's Godzilla. He's mentioning it's Godzilla, and we can't run this story. Parker, I think you're talking about this part. The note that I have is when they show it's kind of, I think Terminator 2 like ripped this off. They're showing Sarah Connor like the reshot versions of the T800. But
yeah,
when they show the original Godzilla and they recognize it, I was like, oh, I didn't remember this from the 85 version. This is what we're getting now. And I don't know if this was the first occasion where they decided, let's scrap everything that happened in between now and the original, and let's just go and make this a direct. Yeah. Was this the first? I thought that was neat, but was this the first time it had done that? I didn't find anything in my research.
From what I've
100%.
Read, yeah. And yeah,
this is it.
Yeah. That's why it's the Return of Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah. There was always a really loose connection between all the other movies. But like this is like up to this point, but like this is like the first concrete like original. This one, like
because I know like
Angela was Angela were you picking up on this stuff too? The in jokes and the references. Were you Because you're nerdy Godzilla, but how nerdy Godzilla are you?
I was making my own jokes at this point.
We were making subtle like bah.
So yeah, he has to tell his boss about the monster that he saw that no one believes him. And then he just hands over pictures of Godzilla. He's like, "Is this what you saw?" And he's like, "Yep." And then that's when you get the whole thing about the sea louse, about how they're feeding on Godzilla, and that's why they're the size that they are. We are then
First of many boardroom meetings.
Oh my god! Yep, this is where it started. All the boardroom meetings. Got to talk about how to stop Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? That's all Shin Godzilla is. It's board meetings and Shin Godzilla wreaking havoc. And you know, -1 got a lot of board meetings too. Got to admit, but
yeah,
they're all done very well.
No
But
offense, I think
the way that
these are
sorry,
go ahead.
sorry. No, the way that Shin Godzilla, we've talked about this before. I think it's like the reason that Shin Godzilla is so great to me is it does take that stuff, but the boardroom stuff is so funny and it's like satirical. But it's like that's what would happen now. I liked in this one. Sorry for jumping ahead, Parker, but I liked in this one. It was all trying to figure out things like I don't want to do nuclear missiles. I don't want to do it. Let's figure all this stuff out. But the way that the news is now, the way that the main character can't remember his name, and he keeps. Because they keep passing the buck, they don't want to deal with it. So by the end, like because on newscasts you see their their info, and the screen is almost completely covered because he's adopted so many titles. So funny. It's so funny. But this is more somber, serious. But I like that it took it from a satirical kind of POV for Shin.
We meet the Prime Minister, played by Kaiju Kobayashi. His Huh?
I think you said kaiju.
Oh, I did say kaiju. My bad. Kaiju.
Kaiju. Close.
Kobayashi. He played Prime Minister Siki Mitamura. Boy. One day I'm going to get good at this. And he's not happy because he's like, this is one of those, I thought I wasn't have to deal with this shit while I'm in office. I was close to retirement. But goddamn Godzilla had to show up 3 days. So yeah, we got this whole thing where like the newspaper's got to keep quiet on the whole thing because Goromaki is talk about running the story about what he saw and all this stuff, and they're just like, nah, we'll eventually get there, but we're just gonna have to back off for now. So he goes.
I don't think it's because they're negligent or impotent like they are in Shin Godzilla. It's just they're really trying to figure out the best course of action to take.
Right before they,
I think they say,
freak the whole nation out.
They don't want to freak everybody out and cause panic. So again, I like that. It was very smart.
Updating the stock market, stuff like that. Like this was right. This was like Japan starting to lead toward their like boom eras. It was like the late 80s into the early 90s and stuff was like a huge economic boom for Japan.
Yeah. So they got to go visit Hagashida. You get the whole thing where his backstory is his parents died in the original Godzilla attack from 1954. So it's one of those things where, and this is where I found it funny, is like we get a scene. I think it's like a little bit later where Hiroshi is like, "Fuck you, Godzilla. Like, I hate you so much. This is revenge. This is vengeance," type thing. And I'm just like, what? Like, okay. And it's and we kind of get like a different view from Hagashida as he mentions the fact that his parents died in the original attacks. And like, I think Goromaki even asks him, like, is this like vengeance? Like, did you start doing all this research on Godzilla for like revenge or vengeance? And he's just like, you could say that if you want, type thing. But, you know, I think it was more of like just an interest in just knowing more about him, because there's just not much known about Godzilla other than he even talks about like he's immortal.
Hayashida has a deep respect for nature. I think he's one of those characters, and a deep respect for where this creature comes from. Like, he can blame the monster or whatever, but it's not the monster's fault.
No.
Really thinking about it,
no, because
right?
he even states he's like, man created him. Like,
yeah.
So,
and
you know,
it's immortal. I'm not sure if he's saying it's immortal because it's just going to keep happening, or because I don't know. It's just
he truly believes like it can't die.
Yeah.
So because he mentions, he's like, it's immortal, it's an animal, it's pretty much a walking nuclear weapon.
Mhm.
It's we then meet the sister of Hiroshi. Is it Naoko Okumura? Okumura. Whew. Played by Yasuko Sawaguchi.
Who is a big star. I was reading like she was the most popular person in this cast, and they had to get her. I like that she had the short, like the boy haircut and everything. I'm like, oh, I guess that was what everybody wanted back in the early 80s. But it was it's funny, but she doesn't really get to do anything.
No.
Right.
No. I think that's just how I feel like that's just like most women in these movies. It's just like, I'll hold you. It's okay. Put her in extreme danger. They yell a lot. And they just get consulted, like,
Terror of Mechagodzilla. Dan, you talked about that. The girl character is the rope. She gets that. That's a very deep character for that one, I think. Very tragic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not just talking about Godzilla movies. I'm talking about just monster movies. Period. It's just like they feel. I feel like some of the ones that we've covered on the Monster Zone, you got the strong female character. It's just my biggest complaint about those is that they have them fall in love with the main guy after like 3 seconds, and he's so unlikable. It's like that. Why? All right.
I always bring up the let's go to dinner.
Yeah.
We've not even known each other for 24 hours.
Let's go out to dinner and have a good time when there's a big giant monster heading towards the city about to kill a bunch of people. Like, okay. This seems important.
Raising
at least they went slow with the love story in here. I think it was more of a grad, like they.
To be honest, if you're not even paying attention, you don't even know that it's happening. Like you don't even know that there's a love story in this, and it's like, I'm glad that I didn't even pick it up.
Two attractive people finding each other attractive. That's really all that it is.
Yeah.
Did we mention Professor Hayashida who plays him?
Yeah. Okay. Yosuke Natsuki.
Okay, I may have missed it. I must have glossed over it. I just want to point out he was doing Akira Kurosawa films in the early 60s and ended up going and doing, he was the main character in Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster.
Yeah.
He did Dagora, and I think that was it for his
So we're going to be talking about him again this month.
Yes, we will.
Sweet.
Can I just say though, I like that it's the Professor and Goru and Naoko and Okamura who become like a team. Like they're all after the same goal, so there's no griping and not trusting each other. It's like, well, let's just get this solved.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Where everybody's working together. There's no unnecessary fighting, which always seems to be.
And
a thing.
they're constantly shown in the same shot to show that they're united. I like that. It was good visual language.
Maki tells her that her brother is alive, but it's kind of a whole thing where he uses that to gain access to his room so that he could take pictures of like the siblings reunited, and it kind of puts like a tiff between them.
Yeah, there's that. Was that a dick move on his part? Do you guys think that was a dick move?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a reporter.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised he did it, but it is kind of a dick move. Yeah.
Well, when the government takes and runs with it, they're like, well, this is going to come out eventually. I like that I thought it was interesting that he didn't get in trouble. I thought, is he going to get harmed for this? Or is he going to get fired? But it never does. I think because, again, they're focused on that goal. There is Naoko and her brother. They do kind of, he broke in there or whatever. And it's a dick move like we talked about. It's not a nice thing that he did. But still, they kind of put that behind them because there's other more important things they need to deal with besides interpersonal griping, I guess.
Yeah. So we are now on a Russian sub, and Godzilla has a snack on it because it's a nuclear sub.
The steel pierogi.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
Or, sorry, because this is 1984, it's a Soviet sub.
Yes.
This is my first instance where I wrote down, why can't they get white actors in these movies that are actually good actors? They're like stiff as a board, just talking to each other. It was like, well, just get your lines out. I guess.
One of them looked like, oh god, the Cobra Kai instructor from Karate Kid. What's the actor's name?
Kreese? Martin Kove? Or?
Yes. One of them looked like a knockoff Martin Kove. I think it was literally the captain of the submarine. I was like,
oh my gosh,
it's not him. I know it wasn't him the whole time, but it just was like, man, it looked like it could just be a stunt double.
Apparently, none of these dudes were Russian.
We're Russian, yeah.
Yeah, they had a dialect coach, and they were like,
were they all American?
No, they were American, Spanish, like from Spain, all that stuff. Like just whatever.
I wonder
Whatever they could
why.
find.
Maybe
funny
because we
thing is
were in a
it's-
cold war with them.
Yeah. The acting in this part is not even as bad as it'll get. That's the funny thing.
No.
Like,
Oh, God.
Oh my god! And it's not. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my god! I was literally watching
stop
that.
cutting
scene.
to that guy.
Yeah, stop it. But yeah, we get this whole thing. Godzilla has a snack on it because it is a nuclear submarine. I've made sure to say the word right because I know people get really upset if you say nuclear.
It's nuclear.
Nuclear. So because this sub has been attacked and the whole Godzilla thing hasn't been put out into the world yet, they think that the Soviets think, oh, well, that was an attack. It's time for a war. So are we about to get a nuclear war?
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
Question mark. So this is when the Japanese government's is like, we gotta tell them about Godzilla, because if we don't tell them about Godzilla, the United States and the Russians are gonna start blowing each other up with these nukes that they have no idea the extent of what they can do, even though they dropped a couple on us, 40 years ago. Like
I don't know if the Japanese taking the smart route every time is a comment on, oh, we're the Japanese, we're smarter now. But I did really appreciate that. I liked it. They're like, okay, we can sense something's coming. Let's put a kibosh on this. Let's just, we can't hide. It's Godzilla, right? Let's all band together, not do all this pointless sniping stuff. So all these political things, the shortcuts that they're taking instead of letting them go on. No, let's make sure that we're all on the same page. I really liked that. It was again, you don't have to do this for a Godzilla movie because that's not what we're here for. Right? You don't have to do that. But the fact that they did it and treated it seriously, that's respectful, I think.
Yeah. We get the picture, the sonar picture of Godzilla, and I was like, that's a goofy ass picture, man. They're like, this is what's happening. This is Godzilla. And I'm like, what is that? Is that just the cover of like another Godzilla movie that they just put that sonar look on it? Just like, this is him. And then that's when freaking Hiroshi gets on there and he's just like, Godzilla, he killed all my men. And then, he did these bad things and I hate him. I hate him so much. And he's like waving his fists. Like, I hate you, Godzilla.
That's what ruined our education system. Like, you had nothing to do with that. Shut the fuck up.
But then we get all the newspaper headlines like Godzilla lives and, he's coming back and whatever.
Tax increase pending.
Yeah, you might want to move. Housing market crashes. Oh man. So yeah, we get the whole dramatic scene where Naoko is mad at Maki for kind of setting her up so he could get his thing, and then you got the whole thing where he like comes over, he's like, I only did it for you. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, this was the one scene I was like, what is going on? And then she does the dramatic like, get away from me, and like runs away.
Yeah,
it's a good impression, Parker.
Yeah, you did. I think you did a better job she did.
That's how I do it. That's just my typical life.
Can I just say, so while we're on the subject, I liked how so many scenes would end with like a dramatic pushing on somebody's face, and they would go, like they'd have the soap opera look.
Yeah, that's like it's like either the zoom in on the face or the zoom out of the face. Like,
yeah, I thought that was really funny.
And you just need that dramatic music. It's like, da, da, da.
What does Joey and friends call it? Calls it smell the fart acting. That's what he calls it.
Yes.
God, thank you for bringing a Friends reference to the show. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
We just usually do SpongeBob.
Yes, SpongeBob or The Simpsons is our normal
go-to. Yeah.
Yeah. But I always bring Friends or Seinfeld references, and they don't watch it, so I'm the only one who laughs at myself.
Shit, I don't think I can make that really good fucking Simpsons reference. If we don't talk about Monster Island at any point in this, I can't make that Simpsons. Not just this whole month.
I already made a Simpsons reference. You're done.
So
we're having a Godzilla free day.
Yeah. Usually let's go at 20,000 feet. Let's go worry about Rodan and Gamera. It's like, why'd you bring Gamera into this? Yeah.
So now we're having a Destroy Godzilla prep meeting. We're just like, what do we do?
Another meeting.
Well, we have something. It's called Super X. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, it's a flying armored thing. And it is possibly one of the goofiest things in the movie.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to it. When I heard Super X, I was like, because I haven't seen Godzilla. Like I said, this is my first time watching the Japanese version. I haven't seen 85 in forever. And so when they said Super X, I'm like, oh yeah, Super X. And I was expecting it to be something really cool. And then we'll talk about it later. It's not. It's not that cool.
It's not cool.
It ain't no Super X2.
Oh, no.
It's like a mound of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, or a giant sperm just going after Godzilla. Oh, no.
It's got the little tail in the back.
Yeah.
Sperminator.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we get the whole thing. Like
that hole later.
Oh, dude. Oh.
You got to hear as it enters.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
That's nasty. That's Cleveland sitting in his own bathwater and the horses licking the water after his house gets destroyed. Have you ever seen that episode of the Family Guy? Yeah.
Where he's just like, no.
Yeah.
Like falls out.
That's nasty.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, man. So they question, is Godzilla going to come to Japan? And it was kind of one of those things where they don't want to say yes, but they're like, probably. He likes it here somehow. And like, will he come to Tokyo? He's like, well, probably. He's been here before. He knows the place. And I guess in this movie, the path that Godzilla takes is pretty much the same path he takes in the original. Like you actually see the same like landmarks.
Yeah, it's just everything's different now.
Right. Yeah. It's more modern. Yeah. That's why he's taller.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, he could have gotten taller just by, he was like hibernating in that island. He just, he grew a little bit.
It's a different Godzilla.
Godzilla grows in the freaking legendary movies. So does King Kong.
It's true.
I don't know. But yeah, Godzilla's here. He's just here. He just shows up. It's like, what's up,
dude?
Everybody? He's snarling and making his noises, doing his roar. I don't know if
I'm the nuclear power plant, right? Where he shows up for the
don't know if I'm a fan of the roar in this one. Feel like it's not as powerful as a lot of the roars that I've heard from him.
But they use it a lot.
Seems
I
very.
like the extra. Oh, go ahead.
No, I like where you hear like the classic roar at the end. It like starts off a little bit different and then it ends with the classic roar. I like that, but I feel like it just wasn't as strong. Just didn't give the powerful roar like we.
I do really like that shot. This is another note that I had when the shot of the guard walking out and you see the ground break apart. I thought that was cool. And then when it obviously the close up of Godzilla, which I think the 2014 kind of copied that, where it shows his foot and then it kind of goes up. But anyway, so
that's a good one.
The note that I have is I like that it has all these tried and true filmmaking tactics, like the matte shots, the optical effects, the suitmation, the model work, and obviously now they introduce the Cybot or whatever. But they have all the tried and true stuff that they've used since 54, 30 years. So and it's still convincing. Like the optical matches when you see the monster in the background, you see the people running. I'm like, that works. That looks great. But it's always looked great. I think they just had mastered it by now.
Yeah. I do. I mean, it's great to see all these classic filmmaking techniques that you just don't see anymore. That's sad.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? Just
exactly
keep going.
But yeah, so he's hungry, and I love. It is great. I do love. My favorite is always the introduction shot where you see him in the distance. You see the shot of the power plant. It's like way back. You see the power plant, and then you see him in the distance. I love that shot. I love when they do that. Where, I think like speaking of like one of the more modern Godzilla movies, like King of the Monsters, that shot of Godzilla and King Ghidorah when they're in Antarctica and they're like about to face off, and it's like that far out pan. I love that. And then it kind of shows them go at it. And that's kind of what we're getting here. Where it's like, you're not seeing Godzilla like right up close. You're just like, you're seeing him from afar. So you're like, oh shit type thing, because he's just going to come closer and cause more destruction. But what makes me laugh is that when he gets to is it just a
silo?
The silo. Okay. He just shoves his head in there and is just like, just fucking huffs that shit, man.
He's faking,
like,
dude.
How else can you do it?
And then he pulls out the something out of the
warhead or whatever.
Yeah, out of the silo. But I just
Reactor.
loved it. He just is like
Reactor.
literally grabs the side of that thing and just shoves his head in there, just sucking it up, just gucking that nuclear energy.
Listen, dude, yes. So funny thing is, it's the same thing Hedorah did. Whenever we talk about the smog monsters, that bitch was just down in like exhaust pipes, and like same actor, same suit actor. He's like, fuck it, let's do it again.
That's funny.
Godzilla takes his radiation like he eats ass, baby. He's just like, he's deep.
Just but he gets.
Hey, I will.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, this will be important. You say your thing first.
Oh no, the fact that he hears the birds. The birds are flying back towards the water, and he's like,
the birds that are scratched into the negative of the film.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. It's just like they don't move. They're just okay.
This is one of the few times we see Godzilla feed on a nuclear reactor. This one and Godzilla X Kong.
Oh yeah. Of course, you
And
get
then
like
why
more
do-
of like the more you get more visuals out of the Godzilla X Kong, but
Yeah.
but no, I really like this. I just made me laugh. I just thought it's like he is literally. It's like he is just shoving his head into he is Al Pacino in Scarface. Just shoves his head into that fucking pile of cocaine and is whoa. He's juiced.
They got superpowers, dude. I get it.
It's great.
Juice is loose.
That song "Why Do Birds Suddenly Appear" starts playing. Like,
Yeah. And he's like,
The-
I gotta go follow the birds. I'm even gonna drop this warhead. Bye.
The derpy eyes, though, I thought it in this part at least, I thought it added to it because it's kind of like it. You made it feel like Godzilla is just a creature of instinct, right? He's not really. When the birds, you see him stop and like he doesn't get it. It seems like, and then when the birds and he follows them because of the homing signal or whatever that we'll find out. But it's like I don't even think Godzilla knows what he's doing. Like he just turns around and just does it. It's where he's going.
The fucking
It's like, why
noise,
people
man.
need me.
Oh, the thing I hate about these goddamn monster movies is the stupid high-pitched noises I gotta put in them, and it goes for
Oh, they
so
did that,
long,
yeah.
and it hurts my brain. And I'm just like, this is the moment where I'm like, okay, maybe I just mute it. Maybe I just mute it for at least 30 seconds, because there is one scene later on where it goes on forever, and I started to get a headache. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why? Stop it.
Yeah.
It gets
You're
worse.
not
Dan.
wrong.
It gets worse,
Nope.
Dan, doesn't it? It's going to be in every fucking Godzilla movie, isn't it?
Nah, not necessarily.
All right. So we get more headlines. We get more candids of G. I just wish we just got pictures of him like throwing up like the peace sign and like doing like cool like poses, because they have like fucking 7,000 photos of Godzilla. They're just like, hey, we want to start a trading card game.
Oh, dude, please!
We're gonna
I'd buy
play
it.
the Cult of G.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that has to be a thing.
Oh man,
There has to be dudes
Has to
that
be.
worship Godzilla.
yeah.
There's the dude on the train later.
Yeah, they find out that that Godzilla's following the birds because of magnets.
It's like a homing signal. The
Yeah.
birds have this homing signal built in, and so he's kind of that.
So,
Go ahead.
just the fact that the professor's idea as well, if he's going to do that, then why don't we just set a trap at the volcano Mount Mahara,
Mm-hmm.
and then just get the volcano to erupt, and then that'll fix the problem.
Easy as 1, 2, 3, baby.
Yep.
Well, I like that though, because they come up with the plan. It doesn't work immediately. They have to make it work, right? So that's why they have all these contingency plans in place. They just can't make this happen. So they have to go out and they have to plan everything, make sure it's right. I like that and you're getting to this one, Parker. I like that they have that talk about, well, what about the citizens, or what are we going to do about the townspeople? Again, they keep making all these comments. I'm not sure if they had somebody that came in and said, we need to make a comment on this, because what about the people? And the government actually takes that into account, so they worry about how this is going to affect the perimeter of what's going on. So I like there's a level of respect to this movie that you don't usually see in these movies. It's cool.
I wonder if the bird migration thing, I was talking to Angela, and this is around that time it became more relevant to like the general populace, is where dinosaurs are more closely related to birds.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was the idea, because like, not everybody.
It reminded me of Jurassic Park. Yeah. When I was, this is like 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
They planned that. Yeah.
Or it's like growing up, like, dude, you know what? You can like Brontosaurus. You're like, dude, Brontosaurus was not a dinosaur. Wasn't a real fucking dinosaur until like 5-10 years ago. And like, oh wait a minute, it's a dinosaur again.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Brontosaurus
Brontosaurus didn't it change to Apatosaurus?
Apatosaurus was the original dinosaur, and Brontosaurus was a misnomer. It was a misidentified creature. That was it wasn't a real creature. It was complete, and everybody just ran with it because it was a term people were familiar with due to the zeitgeist. It just kind of like Brontosaurus, kind of thing. I guess it's easier for people to say. I don't know. Anyway, not important.
So we're getting another meeting, but this is the meeting of the nations. This is the Japanese government meeting with the Soviets and the American government. Darren's laughing because I know this is the
great.
scene. This is the scene. This American delegate is the worst actor I've ever seen. Not just in this movie, but possibly one of the worst I've ever seen. Like, he is reading off of a cue card, and he forgot how to. He is Mark Wahlberging this thing. He doesn't know how to read. You can't be serious right now. That is insane. No, we need to.
You must allow us to use nuclear weapons.
My favorite, though, is when the Russian guy is talking and it cuts back to the American. He's right.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop giving him lines. You're ruining this experience for me.
Oh, my God.
Не применив тактического ядерного оружия, мы не видим другого способа уничтожить Годзиллу. Мы просим вашего согласия.
He's right. The Russian dude had it. I don't know. Like, maybe he's acting poorly in Russian. I was convinced.
Yeah, no,
maybe
I thought he was
because
fine.
they're speaking in a different language that we get. As soon as an American talks,
fine.
it's like, oh, you're terrible.
I was like, what is that? Have you ever acted before, sir? The hell is that? It's awful.
Walking outside the studio one day.
Oh,
like, that's the guy.
That's the guy. He looks just like he looks like he could be a politician.
That's the note that I have.
The angry languages, though. I said Russian and German are the angry languages.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is Asian people doing it, so they just think all of us white people look the same. Like, get that fucker. He's probably.
Yeah, my aunts, my Asian aunts, when they're even talking regular, they sound like they're yelling at each other. I have to go, are you guys okay? And they're like, no, we're just talking about what we're gonna have for dinner. It's like, oh, okay, that's just how you talk. The note that I have, though, I don't know what's less believable: the giant flying sea louse or the guy playing the U.S. special envoy.
Yes.
Who gave the more realistic performance? It's hard to tell.
Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. It's not even like, oh, he's trying. No, it's terrible. But yeah, during this whole thing, the prime minister is very hesitant. He's, of course, like not answering. Like, the Russian guy's like, we need to do this. We need to do this. And he's just like sitting there. I gotta talk to my people type of thing. And
he had a level of, I don't know, it's that same Japanese thing where it's like, are they treating themselves as the smart people now instead because they've seen however many nuclear bombs, 2 or 3, the 3 Mile Island had happened before this or whatever, but are they the smart people or whatever? I like that it looks like he's taking it all in and he doesn't want to make the wrong decision. And he needs to talk to the right people. I wrote down, it'd be funny if he never says anything, right?
Yeah.
It never builds, but then he does eventually talk about, and I thought, oh, this is again, it's very respectful. They're making smart moves with that. What would happen in this situation? Although it's shot very dully, they are making it seem like this is actually what a course of action these people would take.
Yeah, because we get the whole thing where the prime minister states how they're a no nuke nation because of everything that's happened in the past. And
he says there are 3 non-nuclear principles of non-possession, non-production, non-introduction of nuclear weaponry. I was like, is that an actual thing that they have now, or is it for the movie? Or they, but it's very smart. It's like nuclear weapons are terrible. So
well, I know that
you have to have things in place.
I don't know if it's still a thing now, but I know that for the longest time, Japan couldn't have an active military.
That's still can't.
Okay, is that still a thing?
They just have a self-defense force.
Okay, which is a fucking military, but they just have to put a different title on it.
Bureaucracy.
But yeah, it's the whole thing where he looks at both leaders and is like, this is just egotism all around. You're just.
I really like that line.
Yeah,
I like
was
that
really
line.
good.
Was like, isn't you guys trying to use? Aren't you call us egotists, but aren't you trying to show how big your dick is? Isn't that egotistic? I like that line. It made everybody think. I thought that was great.
The Soviet leader comes back at him with something similar. It's like, you not acting on this when what's going to happen. Isn't that having an ego too? But then you find, so they decide not to do it. You find out that all the nukes that these two nations have are in space. Like just on satellites. There's just missiles on satellites in space, ready for some dude on a ship to press them. I don't understand. It's weird. Godzilla. We also, another thing that I liked that the Prime Minister stated was the fact of like, what would you do if you were in our situation? Would you just willingly drop nukes in your own country on your own people?
Why is it okay for you to do that to us? What would you do if it happened to you? Yeah.
Like what if Godzilla went to your country? Yeah.
Why is it okay for you to keep dropping nuclear bombs on our soil?
Yeah.
What'd you do for a Klondike bar?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
So Godzilla's heading to Tokyo. I love this where I think it's a dude flying in a helicopter and he just looks down and he sees like the top of Godzilla. He's like, it's just a zoom in on it. So he's like,
that's classic.
So
100% Toho there, dude.
Well, what's great is the note that I wrote is like, so I looked at the time. I'm like, it's only got 50 minutes left. It's been going for 50 minutes and now it's got 50. Half of this movie has been devoted to bureaucrat meetings and cabinet meetings. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then as soon as he spots that the fins or whatever, and the music kicks in, you're like, oh, here we go. Like you can feel the movie. Okay, enough of that shit. We got all that out of the way. Let's go. This is a Godzilla movie. Let's and so it has like the one thing we didn't mention. I like that they had the split diopter shots in the meetings and with the envoys, how it would show you guys. So I thought that was, I don't know. I go crazy for those shots for some reason because you don't see them very often.
Yeah, because you have people who really like those shots and people who are just like, they're so stupid. I don't understand them. And it's like, I've always appreciated those. I thought it was always
they're very classic,
really cool. Yeah.
So
Godzilla's heading for Tokyo. We get the volcano prepping to get him, the whole thing at the end. Then we get like a whole peekaboo moment with Godzilla just poking out of just like, what's up? And it's like, wow.
The obvious dummy, right?
Yeah. And then
has no mobility.
Just, whoa. It's like when he dives in this movie, it's just his suit just going,
it just
falls.
What if the actor just fell over? Like, just keep
that shot. It's fine. It looks good.
It looks like they removed the standee from in front of him. So he just falls forward.
We got all the firepower against him. It's just like, we do realize this doesn't do shit. It just tickles him. He's just like, stop it.
They got to do something.
It always baffles me though, because like like Godzilla, he's like impenetrable. But like, what about his eyeballs? Are his eyeballs that strong where like even his eyes, you can't puncture his eyes? It's always been a mystery.
Superman gets shot in the eye with a bullet.
But that's fucking Superman. I don't know, man. It just feels different to me. But I get it.
They'll figure it out and we'll get to it. I like what the Super X does later. It figures out a weakness.
Yes.
So
what were you gonna say?
No, you're calling him the lizard Superman. That's exactly what he is.
He is. He flies and everything.
Yeah.
But this, I'll keep going. Oh my god, the shot coming.
This is the first shot of his atomic breath in this movie.
Yes.
After this, yeah. And this is
literally the plane, right?
Yeah, and then he dives. I said my next note is, look at that dive. More missiles to the face, atomic breath, the whole dock. He just wipes out this entire dock. And then I love it when they show it after. It's just charred everything, and it's just Godzilla like, all right, see you later. just he's out.
Well, I like this shot for one, because there's two shots here I like. It's when it's after they bombard him on the dock, right? And it's that nice, like, it's the front angle is where he's roaring and like his head comes through the smoke and it kind of like elapses over him.
Oh yeah.
And then elapses over him. And then it's the atomic breath down the whole fucking dock.
Oh yeah. He just wipes them all out. It's fantastic.
You see those guys get like War of the Worlds heat raid. Like,
yes.
I was waiting for that shot. I was waiting for just the dude to just be like a guy with a gun, and then it's just a skeleton holding a gun. And then they just crumbles into dust.
Isn't it funny how, sorry, Parker, how I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I didn't really feel the power of the atomic breath until, I don't know, Shin Godzilla and then -1. The way that they handle the atomic breath is horrifying. And in these movies, it's just kind of like a thing that he does.
Just a laser.
It's powerful. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess it's the way that it shoots.
Like
or
even
they
in the
shoot it or
legendary
whatever.
one, it doesn't seem like it's powerful, but it doesn't seem like holy shit. Like when I sat in that theater watching -1 and he does that atomic breath for the first time, you fucking feel it through every ounce of your body.
Yep.
And the fact that it shows Godzilla looking at it like, what the fuck did I just do type thing.
Yeah. And then like, well, I did that. And
Yeah.
Well, we got to mention too, I'm sorry I left it out. The 2014 Godzilla, my favorite moment in that is when they're bearing down the what's the Mutos or whatever, right?
Yep.
They're bearing down on Aaron Taylor Johnson, and it's the shot of his face, and all of a sudden you see the blue light, and you hear, and he looks up, and you just see that was awesome in the movie theater. That was great.
That's the most expression you probably saw in Aaron Taylor Johnson's face throughout that entire movie.
The one time he wasn't a cutout.
Because it was just a guy carrying a cutout of him around. Like, we got to put him here now.
Yeah. But Godzilla in that, awesome. Great job.
I fucking loved Godzilla in that movie.
There's some nice there's progression to the atomic breath. It's not like you guys talked about. You pretty much nailed it. It's just a utility for him. Kind of like the Batarang. It's not dynamic. It's just something he's got. But
that's a pretty fucking sweet weapon he's got there.
Yeah, no, of course.
Down on my Batman.
I'm not shitting on Batman. I'm just saying, sometimes you just got a utility out of it. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just does the job. But as it goes on in the series, like when we get to the 90s movies and stuff, and it gets better. There's more examples, of course, leading up to what we have. You guys mentioned these days.
Yeah.
So we then see it's a Soviet ship. This is where they house the button to controls the nukes in space. And we get the whole thing because the ship was in Tokyo Bay and Godzilla attacks Tokyo Bay, rendering the ship almost destroyed. The guy's like so close to stopping it, he ends up dying. In the 1985 version, he pushes the button to set off the nukes instead of the nukes being on a timer and automatically being set off because the US went, nah, we can't make the Soviets good guys.
Yeah. Because that was the Cold War was in the full swing, right? During the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So the note that I have for that is like, I don't remember this Russian missile subplot at all. First of all, I think it's funny that, they put him into space to keep everybody from getting their hands on him, but then they still have the buttons. It's like, well, why'd you put it in space? And we'll come back to this. I like that it cuts for no reason. Like, why is it on this ship? And the captain's like, I've got to get to this because they've decided not to use. Yeah, I got to turn it off. They build that in, but the note I have is I don't remember this subplot at all, and I think it's just because maybe it was just a cliche that everybody was making the Russians the bad guys, which again, that's a cliche that I'm glad they removed, or that I hate that they put into the American version. I'm glad that they didn't go that way, the original route.
Yeah, I do like the fact it's like it's on a timer because it's damaged, and so he is trying to get to it before there's even the whole moment where he's just like, I gotta get to it before it goes off. Type thing, and then he dies right below the button. He just
because that was a big deal. That was a big deal to me when I watched the Japanese version the first time. I was like, this is entirely different. Like, like you said, they made it out to be villains. The way everything's cut and rearranged in the English version movie, it's fucking weird. I'm like, you didn't push the button. You tried to stop it. Like, what's going on? So it's just trying to help people. They said, don't use it. We're not going to use it.
Yeah. Everybody working towards the same goal. I think that's really great.
So Godzilla causes a chain reaction on the highway. I love how he just hits one part of the highway and it causes this just mass explosion that just follows for a good mile and a half of this highway.
That was crazy.
And then I love it. Got to have a train scene in a Godzilla movie. I swear, every Godzilla movie I've watched since I've met Dan and Angela, there's always been a goddamn train scene where I love it, where it's like, how about this? Godzilla is coming towards the tracks. Maybe just keep trying to go as far as you can. But instead, the guy's like, brakes right in front of Godzilla. Like, dinner is served, sir. He just picks up the train.
Just wants to play. He wants to play with the train. He likes it.
I get that. I understand that.
It's so funny, though. It's so funny.
I assure you, Parker, it's just been timing. There's not that many train things. Just based on the first one, and then a few subsequent.
Well, -1 had a train scene. Yeah.
Yep. 84.
Darin says he likes I like trains.
I like trains.
I love trains. Yeah, it's hard for me to not buy it. Anyway, so I liked how, because the shot is, it's from the viewpoint of the engineer, right? And you see Godzilla in the so he's stopping in time. But then it made me laugh when he stops like right in the middle of. Yeah, you probably would have been smarter if you kept going, right?
Just keep on trucking. Godzilla might get like the back to cars if he gets a chance, but. God, you're not seeing Godzilla run down the street. Like, I gotta get that train.
Did you guys notice there's a part where it made me laugh, but I didn't write it down because it went too fast. But he picks up the train and there's a quick shot inside where it shows a preacher smiling. And I started laughing.
Yes.
But if you look it up, it's a cameo from let's see, Hiroshi Kamayatsu, I think. He is I guess, what is he? He's a guitarist in the Japanese rock bands, the Spiders and Vodka Collins. But I like that it was just this little priest shot of like, look at it's a god. Like
I literally have that at my note is picks up train. One guy smiles, and then the next one is just Godzilla just tosses the train car. He's just like, man, I'm done. But that shot was so great. I was like, what? Is he smiling right now? He just looks up. He's like,
yeah, of course, that's great. That was one bit that was cut from the English one, I recall. So. It's like, no happy man.
No,
I do.
Gotta go back to Russian. Bad.
I haven't mentioned it so far, but there have been multiple shots where it's the prime minister and all of his like political people around him, and they're just watching. They're just watching Godzilla doing his things on TV. It's like they're watching a movie. They're just like chilling there, and there's just like this big.
How
screen.
did they have sound?
Where are all these cameras coming from? Like, who is getting these perfect shots of Godzilla just causing destruction? It doesn't make sense. But they are also really close because there's one shot where it's like the room starts to shake and things are starting to fall inside the room. But then nothing happens with that. Like you were expecting like that room just get wiped out, but nope, it's fine.
Yeah, they're safer than everybody else.
Then you get this like, is this a homeless guy in this restaurant? Okay.
Dan, please explain what's the point of this character.
This is just a dude that's just a weird motherfucker.
He's just taking advantage of the situation. He is, of course, he is less than fortunate, and he's like, well, everyone's leaving, so I can do whatever I want. So he goes to this restaurant. He's like eating all this food. I love it. Godzilla's outside the window. He looks in the window. He's like, hey, what are you, like the big man on campus now? Like, what do you think? He just comes strolling in here? Yeah, just it's all like, is he talking shit to Godzilla? Godzilla's just like, the fuck?
He calls him a hillbilly or
whatever. He does.
Yeah.
In the sub version, he calls him a hillbilly.
Yeah, he literally is like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Later he's like goes to a new place and picks a fight with the biggest dude.
Yeah.
Trying to convert his dominance. Like, he's not here, dude.
Later, he says something like, don't think of this as a disaster. Think of it as an opportunity or a chance.
Yep.
I'm like, what comment is being made here?
I'm so confused what's happening.
He preys on others' misfortune, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he just passes out.
Not night.
This was just too much for him.
Not night, sweet prince. We get that awful noise. This is my least favorite part of this movie. Is that fucking high-pitched, stupid bird sound thing that's supposed to attract Godzilla. I hated it. I hated it so much.
Well, how do you think Godzilla feels?
Yeah,
I mean, clearly he likes it. He's got to follow it.
Let's check out your ear.
Yeah. Well, then he gets a laser to the face.
Yep. Proto Maser tanks, baby.
Yep. Yeah. I'm like, what? All I was.
Had we not seen these tanks, Dan, since Megalon? I know they use them in as repurposed footage, but have we not seen them in between here and now? There and now.
These are not officially Maser tanks, but these are some laser. They have some.
They're awfully
names
similar. Yeah,
they are. But the Maser tanks show up in the next movie. But they're like you consider like a
Maser tanks.
They're the Walmart brand. They're the Great Value brand Maser tank.
Yeah, they are. All there is a laser. They just don't have the Maser.
This is the Timu.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it's just leftovers from the Skynet.
Do you want a Maser tank for 50 cents? Get it at Timu today.
Wait a minute, this isn't a Maser. It's a laser pointer.
I like them.
Just be careful. They might steal your entire life and identity. Timu.
Oh, no.
Get things for $1.
You think Timu took your Instagram account?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Look into that.
Yeah.
Get him. Get him.
Just email
Just
Timo.
wish.
Did you take my Instagram? Asking for a friend. Yeah, they got to
Get him
take the
an email
stairs.
there.
I love how the first thing is for the professor to be like, let's use the elevator during this Godzilla attack. It's like,
No.
not a good idea.
No.
Oh, it doesn't work? Oh, let's take the stairs. Okay.
So we should just real quick. I don't want to point this out. So they're in this big building downtown, and Godzilla's like doing Godzilla
Yes,
thing.
please. Please
And
talk
they're
about
like,
this.
let's use the experimental bird thing to make sure it works when he's
Right
right
next to his
outside
face.
the fucking building.
All he has to do is like,
Yeah, I was going to say, all he does is he hears it, he turns and just
Yeah.
bitch slaps
That's
the
the
building.
note I wrote. So Professor Hayashida, Goru, and Naoko's plan is to stay in their lab in Godzilla's line of sight and draw its attention to them.
Yeah, he's like, do the thing, do the like radio thing, which looks like a camera, and he's like, into his ear, and he's like, what the fuck? Like Godzilla turns around and stares at it for a minute. Luckily, he gets shot in the back of the head, and Godzilla would have.
Yeah. He gets tickled by the laser. He's like, whoa, hey.
Yeah.
Who's that? Stop it.
I will let you know, in this franchise, especially in the 90s, being eye to eye with Godzilla in a building never ends well for you.
No.
Ever.
You're like, is he even looking at me right now? His eyes is like up here.
Isn't he also supposed to be
Just
80
slowly
meters
from-
tall? Is that building 80 meters tall?
It has to be.
It's got to be taller because I think the building was taller than him.
Well, when you see it later when the helicopter shows up, you see the projection shot of the window. They're on the very top in the corner. It's that it looks like he's that tall.
Yeah, so he's 80 meters, so it's like 240 feet.
So the building it's like the building that he goes night on. That building must be like 12,000 feet tall because he was dwarfed compared to that building.
So it's usually like what 10 feet per story, roughly. So it's at least a 24-story building, minimum.
Yeah.
So it has to be higher than that to be eye level. So it's probably
Right.
like a 28-story building.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
The
So kind of
perspectives
towards
on
top.
this are weird. Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
could be like
whatever.
the
Anyway.
98 Godzilla where it changes size depending on the scene that it requires.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean? It's a little bit of that. Yeah,
I
the
think it's
POV
just
shots are strange.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, after that, they realize this is a bad idea, and then they leave. Through the stairs.
Well,
Not the
they
elevator.
try to.
they can't
is
get
that-
the elevator to work.
Yeah. Is that the entire the only way out is through that big garage door that they spent
That they
20
can't
minutes
get
trying to
open.
get out?
It's on the roof too, because that's not the bottom of the building. That's the top of
Yeah,
it.
And then
it's a
later they go
helicopter.
down the
It's a
stairs.
helicopter. They're trying to get the landing pad on top. And it
Oh,
lands.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude.
Okay. That makes sense. But still.
Ooh.
That's why they just send the professor out later when they do the rescue mission. They're like,
Yeah,
we'll be all
once-
right. And then they go down and find homeless man. And they're like,
Yeah,
hold on to
Hiroshi
this
comes in.
hose. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, stay
That
away
makes
from the
sense.
window, and they
Yeah.
blow the window out.
But this is when we get Super X. They're like, launch Super X. And I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be sweet. And then you see and you're like, that's not so cool. And they're like, drop those commodium. I think that's what it's called. Commodium whatever.
Cadmium.
Whatever.
Cadmium, yeah.
Cadbury eggs.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
it
they
was
are. That's what they
fake
are
when he
because
blew
it
it up.
looks like Cadbury juice just coming out of the side of his mouth.
Dude.
Like,
So cadmium is real, and it is used to regulate fission inside of a nuclear reactor. I have a whole video on this. I'm telling you, it gave Godzilla. Yeah, it shut down his kidneys, and it's going to lead to something that happens in 6 movies.
Oh,
I will give you a link to the
6
video.
movies.
It's the best video I ever made. When I was before this, I will give a link, and you guys could watch it.
Oh, I thought you're a mushroom one.
Well, the mushroom was fun. No, this is the smartest one I ever made, hands down.
Did that guy from your panel like comment and say you've never seen Return of? He didn't do that
I
again.
heard that motherfucker dad like, here's the disc. I've watched it. I own it, you son of a bitch.
I have proof, you
I just
bastard.
follows you around for the rest of your life. That would be funny.
It was just like a one-off thing. I just always remember that. And I got mad,
Yeah.
walked away, and just drank a can of Dr. Pepper. Like, I'll show you.
You couldn't have
Call me
caffeine.
out.
You can drink Dr. Pepper.
Anyway, go ahead, Park.
But yeah, these rounds seem to work because it like they like distract Godzilla to make him open his mouth, and he shoots it in his mouth, and it like starts oozing out, and he then like starts getting a little woozy. And in the middle of all this, the Soviet nuke accidentally gets set off, and then they're like, "Hey, we should call America and have them shoot it down because they're the only ones who could do it." It's like, sure, all right, cool, America. And then Godzilla goes, I'm kind of tired, and just passes outside of the building.
The theory is that cadmium would control the fission because they want to treat him like a nuclear reactor. And this is an idea that's brought in subsequent films of this series. and it's to slow it down enough to where it kind of like stops his heart.
Yeah,
is the idea. Which
Oh yeah, because you hear the heartbeat. Yeah,
yeah. So that's what the cadmium's supposed to do. And mind you, he gets 3 shots in his mouth, and I never once heard him say "guck guck." I'm just letting you know. We're going back to an earlier conversation. It never happened once. I'm telling you, it's a forced sound.
Just gotten over that.
We need to get a.
No,
we need to have a. We need somebody who. We need to have somebody who's dedicated who just does a guck guck counter for every episode of this show, because I swear we mention it in every episode, at least multiple times. We broke Darin. It's fine.
If I
He's
ever
broken.
meet an adult entertainer, I'm going to ask you a very professional question: is the guck guck forced, or is it a natural sound that you make?
We broke him. He's dead. He's dying. Somebody save him.
The sausage slamming into your uvula. This is the noise that it makes.
All right. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Before
Parker, do me a favor. I need to recover here. You wanted to talk about the miniatures. I had something to say. But
yes, the miniatures are fantastic. Especially, I mean, Super X. Super X is the only one where it's like,
oh man,
not my favorite. Not a big fan of this one. It does look like it's on a track. It's just like. I feel like I was watching a movie from like the 60s, like an old sci-fi movie from the 60s, where it's just like, all right, we're going to have it on this fishing line and just have it just go across this track a little bit. But everything else looks great. I love the city, the buildings, and all that stuff. And I guess the director went to like an actual like engineer, like a building engineer, to actually find out like how to get the buildings to collapse accurately, like when Godzilla would interact with them. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, you find out the.
Dan, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, Angela mentioned this to me, and I dropped the ball. The birds earlier in the film, how they're like literally just painted on the background. I wish they were just on strings and just zipped across.
Oh, Day of the Dead style with the bats.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped the ball.
George Romero is looking at that, going, "You know what I'm doing with my bats in my next movie."
That was the same fucking time. Son of a bitch. I came out the same year.
I wanted to mention with the miniatures, I thought, again, all the miniature work is great. I like that they went to an expert and things like that. I just thought, like, especially, again, if you're just looking at this as a sequel to the 54 is so much more atmospheric. I think they have, like, smoke and effects and particle effects in front of the camera. In this, it literally looks like they're on a set. So the miniatures are great, but it just looks like they're on a set and they're just breaking down the miniatures, right? And it's... the note I had is, why are there so many shots of this, which they look great, but why is it so dull? It just seems like there's not a lot of, they're just point and shoot. Here's our miniatures a lot of the time. And then it goes to, I get the tension. Like you build the thing with the suspense with the Russian sub and the nuclear and how he dies or whatever. And then I get the tension of, their Super X is getting to Godzilla, but it seems like the shots of the Cybot go on forever. It seems like of his heart slowing down. So it kind of, the energy is drained for me anyway, from a lot of the scenes. And then Godzilla collapses, and then you have the electromagnetic storm that comes down and it knocks out the Super X, and you've got because again, the Russian missile has been shot and they have to get the so I get all the tension that's built, but it's just strange because it's kind of inert. At least it was to me. It was just, some shots would go on for so long that the pacing was kind of killed for me. I don't know if you guys felt that. It just seemed like previous Godzilla movies were more atmospheric and more interesting and better paced, I think.
Well, we get the whole scene too where the professor gets rescued, like so that he can go to the volcano and set that whole thing up. I feel like that took way too goddamn long of them just swinging around and oh, hold on, oh, you gotta have the he's hanging from the side of the building type thing, like just to bring some more tension. And it's like
opening the door.
Oh my god!
Right. Well, you even have that shot of Okamura hanging out the side of the building, and it's a matte shot that you can see and that was impressive. But again, it's like you're by keeping these shots going for so long, you're killing a lot of the momentum. It felt like so. I get what they were going for, but I didn't feel the tension that say like a tighter re-edit might be able to do for this, which the American version did not do.
You got Godzilla, stammering around like he just had a fucking long night at Mardi Gras, just fucking dragging himself along the building. Like, just
it takes a while.
Night.
I do like the shot of him, Godzilla, like falling into the side of the building.
Yeah,
Because I like how, because Godzilla's so large, usually older movies he would just fall over, but he's like literally just like
He's leaning against the building.
Half open movie, like building. It's just, I just think it's neat.
Yeah, it's a good image. That's a good image. All right.
But the nuke is destroyed, and it causes this like red light to go across the sky, which then causes this electrical storm, which hits Godzilla, pretty much waking him up. I love the score during this whole scene, that like 80s synth, like it just feels like an 80s synth action movie. Like it's just so good.
Not the first time he's been woken up by electricity.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, not that I know of.
It happens in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, right? He goes to the power plant and gets repowered too, but
that's where he gets struck by lightning to turn himself into a magnet. But but this is where he woke up with sea monster.
Oh, right. Okay. They had to wake him up, right? Because they found him asleep, right? From what I remember, they had to. Okay.
Get struck by lightning. He'll take out the terrorists.
So when Parker, I'm assuming this is the next scene, right, where Godzilla wakes up, right? But what you talked about the music. As a kid, I cheered for Godzilla, and the music is telling you to cheer for Godzilla, right? Because he's waking up, and it's like he's fighting back.
It's his resurrection,
which is strange. We're at Batman v Superman levels of the score. The images aren't matching the tone that you're trying to,
right?
Because in that one they're trying to say, oh, Batman's not supposed to kill, but you're giving us this kick-ass sound design and these giants, and he's blowing. It's like, it seems, Zack Snyder, that you want me to cheer for Batman killing these people. Like, I don't understand if you know what I mean. So it has that same kind of tonal dissonance is the thing I'm looking for. It's like, Godzilla's the bad guy here. Why are we giving him like a heroic? It seems like we're giving him a heroic theme.
Because even when he's bad, you still gotta love Big G.
Yeah. As a kid, you don't process it. These are real people dying. You're like, oh, leave Godzilla alone.
Especially the people like you're supposed to be like, destroy that Super X, but it's like there's innocent people in there just doing their job, man. They're just
trying to keep millions of people from being killed. Like, what? This is not a good thing.
Oh my god. So the professor gets to the volcano, and there's like a control panel, and he just shoves a thing in there. I was like, is that how that works? Do you just plug it in like that? I think there's supposed to be plugs behind, like things you're supposed to plug in behind it. Now he's just like, chink, and then it's like, it works. It's good. It's all set up.
You remember VCRs? We had to hook up VCRs. It's the same principle, really.
Okay. All right. I guess so. We get the fire hose rappel down with the guy we saw before. He's like, hey, can you hold this hose? He's like, yeah, sure. He just like, I was waiting for him to be like, never mind, and like swings it around. But you get the whole thing with them rappelling down. We then get Godzilla literally just taking one arm and just going on top of Super X. Yeah. Killing everyone inside.
I gotta point some out because there's two shots I love about this. It's when the Super X finally, like, they get juiced up and they start running again. They're like, guys, we're out of Cadbury eggs. Like, fuck it, use the other missiles, whatever. And he's like, they just start, like, unloading on Godzilla, and they hide behind the building. And Godzilla's atomic breath blows a fucking hole straight through the building. And you get that shot where it's the Super X.
He looks at him. Yeah.
And then he looks at it and just fucking bum rushes the building.
Oh, my God, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the Super X is, like, obviously can only take so much of the atomic breath. It goes down, and then the part Parker's talking about where he knocks the building over on him.
Yeah.
And there's just that awesome shot afterwards where you get the red lighting below Godzilla of the flame, and he just looks fucking sweet from the other side of the building. I just love that shot.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. He don't
again great iconic shots. It just needs to be edited tighter to really make that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. It's a little sloppy. I agree.
So the group gets to the bottom of the building, and then that random dude just dies. He just like falls. He gets like comes face to face with Godzilla once again, and then just
I think he just passes out. He says out, and that's it. Whatever. Right. Maybe he gets stepped.
See you later. See you later, guy. We don't even get your name, but all right. Godzilla gets the call from the birds. He's like, "All right, I'm coming." And just wanders away. He's lured into the volcano. He's like standing on the ledge. Fast. It does. He's literally standing on a ledge. He gets shot down to another ledge. And then just falls forward into, or he gets like shot by a bunch of missiles, which then like he falls forward into the volcano.
No, I don't think he
It-
gets
well-
shot at there's the detonators, right? That kind of,
right. They put all the ground charges in, right?
Yeah.
And they blow it up, and then it causes him to fall in. And you do get the shot, though, of the Prime Minister crying as he sees Godzilla fall in. So is he crying because it's over, or is he crying because he fell bad?
That was strange. I don't know if they really, because the crying should have come from the professor, it seems like, right? Because the professor's all the one that's respecting Godzilla, where he comes from and everything. And the Prime Minister crying is strange. I just thought when they start playing that, which is a great score, I like that theme or whatever, but like, why are we feeling sorry for Godzilla all of a sudden? Like did they point out the fact that he's like a mistake and it's not his fault? Because again, he wanders to the volcano edge, and he's a creature of instinct. He just feels this thing and he goes towards it, and then he keeps going and then falls in.
Well, the professor mentions the fact that, it's not his fault. Like he didn't ask to be created.
Right.
And he's just doing what an animal
But it would have
do.
been
It's an instinct.
much better showing him crying instead of the Prime Minister. who's
Which
been
you
all
kind of
business
get.
up to that
You do get like a close-up shot of the professor too, and he does seem distressed by the whole situation. Like he's not fully happy with like killing him, but he knew that this is what had to be done. Like he's upset about the whole thing.
Yeah, even Godzilla, before he goes to the ledge and like falls into that lower ledge, he stops for a second and waits. It's almost like he's thinking about what he's doing, but like the whole instinctual thing we're talking about. Then he goes
Just
forward,
too
slings
strong.
for the first second and blows.
Yeah, it's I do like that all the main characters are there to see the aftermath of the result of their work, right? I like that all the main people are there to see it through to the end. Even the Goro and Naoko in the helicopter see that at the end. But I don't know. I just thought it would be much more interesting and make much better sense if that was that professor there crying. Give him the shot instead of the Prime Minister.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That is the end. We get the English pop song at the end during the end credits, which I guess this is like only the second Godzilla movie to have the end at the very end and end credits. But that pop song is pretty good, pretty catchy.
I watched this on my laptop and I was writing down some final notes, and the song starts. I'm like, number one, is that English? Am I hearing English?
Sayonara,
and then
Godzilla.
it's an English song, whatever. And I go back, and then she sings "Goodbye Now, Godzilla." Until then, take care now, Godzilla, my friend. I'm like, that's not the tone that you're striking with what's happening. So I giggled for the last 2 minutes. I couldn't get enough of that. It was just great.
That was good.
The Cult-Worthy Podcast. Join me, Antonio Palacios, each week as I guide you through a never-ending sea of obscure cinema and cult-worthy gems that deserve a rediscovery. Find me on all listening platforms and at thecultworthy.com. The Cult-Worthy Podcast. Join us.
But yeah, now it's time to go around the room and talk about our final thoughts on the movie. Darin, start us off.
Have you guys read Variety released that 100 greatest horror movies list this week? Did you guys read that and the controversy that's happening?
Just don't.
I've heard some people say some stuff about it online, but no,
I just
not
don't care.
The lists are strange, but the Godzilla thing is kicking up some I just wanted this. Sorry, it's a treat. I always give these treat teases, and they don't credit the people. Like usually, if you see these lists, you'll see the name of the person that wrote the review, but it doesn't credit it. I think, and I wanted to tie this in because when I do my talk about movies, I get very verbose and I'd like to use flowery language, and I get that. But I learned that from Owen Gleiberman. I don't know if you guys ever read Entertainment Weekly, but he does that a lot. And so I think that this is this guy writing this review. And he just talked, I'm going to read you part of it. It just says, it's between those two poles that Godzilla lives, occupying an uncanny valley of kitsch awe. Towering over buildings, elevated trains, telephone wires, he smashes through as if they were toy models. With skin-like shag carpeting, plates line his back like small fur Christmas trees, and eyes so beady they're just this side of puppyish. He's a serious figment of 20th century horror the cinema ever gave us, but he's played by a man in a dinosaur suit. And on some level, we always know that we're watching a tacky, ingenious, apocalyptic puppet show. And it's getting a lot of negative flack because, first of all, it seems like it's on this list of greatest horror movies, but he can't again, I don't know if it's Gleiberman, but he can't resist digging at the silliness of these movies, which again I get, but it's like, why would you do that for the 1954 Godzilla,
It
right?
doesn't make any sense. And why the fur? Like, it just sounds like he's never seen these movies, or he's
Yeah.
taking his references are from like second and third hand accounts.
Or
Like, it
all
doesn't make
he's
any
watched
sense.
is Godzilla versus Megalon in those. He doesn't get the the fact that it's treated somberly, it's kind of weird for him. It just seems like he's trying to dig at this, which that part of me got offended. It's like, hey man, I can enjoy these. You don't have to point this stuff out. You know, I get it. You know what I
You
mean?
don't have to be a
But I wrote
dick.
down, whether it's silly Showa or somber Showa, since we're tying it to that, it's like it all depends on how you shoot and represent Godzilla on screen, right? You can treat him seriously, or you can treat him silly. And again, sorry to keep referencing our Godzilla versus Megalon episode, Parker, but like as we talked in there's a silly Godzilla you can enjoy, but there's also the serious, somber Godzilla. I like having both. It's like, what's wrong with having both? Okay, but it's like just because they're giant men and monster wrestling matches, tag team stuff. That doesn't mean we can't treat them seriously. That doesn't mean we can't treat them with like these metaphors. Like if you're looking at, Godzilla was obviously the nuclear deterrent. It was like an allegory for that, right? Godzilla versus the smog monster was about the environment. If you skip all the way to Shin Godzilla, that's like, we mentioned it. It's about bureaucracy's impotence in the face of terror, right? They can't do anything. And then -1 is about Japan kind of banding together and deciding we need to live, we need to move on after this destruction has basically killed us and ruined our nationalistic pride, right? These movies can be about things, and they're about giant monsters, but it's like, it's a metaphor, man. Why do you have to pick at you know what I mean? Why do you have to pick at this stuff?
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'll let you talk. I had one more thing to say, but go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, it's just people seem to like where the serious Godzilla films seem to be fewer and far between, or like the quote unquote good ones, as people would say. And I think it's just people focus on, like I said, the ones like that, like, oh, these weren't made very well because X, Y, and Z reasons. But like, no offense, and I think it's a fantastic movie, but has anybody watched any of the original Universal Monster movies? Like, let's go back to Frankenstein. Yes, I think it's pretty well acted for its time, but it's literally a dude in makeup with a flat top.
Yeah.
If you want to get that
and platform shoes.
Shoes, that's all it is. Like, if you want to do that, you should do that to every other film that was similar to that made at an older time, because that's no different. Even though they're written well or written decently or acted or whatever. Anyway, keep going.
Again, I don't mean to dig. Again, Gleiberman is one of my inspirations for when I became a critic. I wanted to write like him, so I don't want to dig too far. But every critic has these moments where it just seems like he's got to get. I've been meaning to say this about this movie. Let me do it in this list that's about the greatest movies. Let me talk about how stupid it is. It's just really off-putting. But it's like if you were to rank these, if you were to rank the first Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, -1, and this one, which are basically the somber takes on, I think this is my least favorite, but it's for the reasons that we've talked about. It's just very stodgy a lot of the time. It's just very slow and drawn out. And a better version of this, Parker, like we've talked about, is the Shin Godzilla, making it a satire, making it funny. That's the version of this that's better. But like, obviously the first Godzilla, you have -1, Shin Godzilla, those, I think I would rank him like that. Maybe Shin Godzilla, because I like the satire a little more than the -1 stuff. But it's like, it's about a giant CGI monster or a man in a suit, but it's about something. And this is about something. I like that Return of Godzilla goes back to that. Well, let's bring him back to what he really was. And this nuclear fisticuffs that we're having keep going on. And so Godzilla is an apt metaphor for those things, right? So bringing him back and recapturing that serious tone, I think, is an admirable like goal. And they do accomplish that, getting that and making him a thing of terror. But it's still at the heart of it, it's still a little stodgy and it's still a little silly. But I appreciate it, at least on that level.
All right, who wants to go over there?
Do you want me to go? Okay, cool. I will. I don't think I like this movie a lot, or I like this movie because of what it meant to me as a kid. It was a Godzilla movie that scared me. It was a Godzilla movie that when I was a kid, I cried at the end when Godzilla died, because Godzilla was very important to me and still is to this day. Godzilla was a hero to me, regardless of his interpretation, because I always liked the monster fight ones more than I did like 54 and 84, 85 been the version I watched. And even then, like, we haven't talked much about the differences. 85, not a great movie. It's shorter than this. probably for the better. But I still like the way Raymond Burr narrates. Like I love his narrations in 85 and in the original one. But I don't think it's not high on my list. It's definitely not one that I come back to often. And I think it's a well-made film. I just think it goes a little too long. And I get what they were trying to do and what they were trying to get, and I think they were mostly pretty successful at what they were hitting at. I don't think the Cybot thing was necessary, and I love the design for the '84 Godzilla. I think it's really cool. I'm glad we got Kenpachi Chiro to do it because he was Godzilla from '54 to '95, so he had a really good long run at it. Not counting other things he did, but no, I think it's a good movie. It's just long-winded at times.
And I agree. We got to a point where I'm like, is this almost over? Because you get all the meetings that happen, and I'm like, man, this needs more Godzilla. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, come on now. But yeah, I agree. It's a good movie. Not high on my list of likes for Godzilla. So
It's a respectable attempt, right? It's respectable.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
I get where
like
they're
what they were
going.
going for.
Yeah.
But like, I love the movie before this more, and I love the movie after this immensely more.
Okay.
So
As for me, this is only, I feel like all the Godzilla movies I've seen are the somber ones, are the darker, more serious versions of Godzilla. So I'm like, I don't have those goofy ones to kind of play off of. So like, I've seen the original, I've seen this, I've seen Shin, I've seen -1. So like, those are in that category that Darin was talking about. The very they all play in the same on the same playground.
You've seen the legendary ones though, right? You've seen those. Those are the same. It's the silly
same
stuff.
thing. Well, Godzilla 2014, I think I would put that in somewhat
right,
in this category. Which, to be honest, I love. And it was like Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It was like a split. Like it took itself serious, but it was also like, we're gonna throw every goddamn monster we have at you at one time. But you know what? I still have a blast with that movie every time I watch it because it's like I'm getting it all.
Kaiju lover's dream.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I enjoyed this, but yeah, there were moments where I was just like, okay, I could do without this. I could do without a lot of like what's going on inside the building with that group, with the professor and Mako and the girl and all that. Like I could do with less of that. Like I get they're pretty important to like the end game of the movie, but I feel like there was just scenes where it just kind of took too much or took too long to get going. And then like when Godzilla's out of commission, it's just like, okay, now what? Now we got to wait for him to wake up, and that feels like it takes forever. And then the end just ends. It just kind of just happens. Everything kind of just boom, boom, boom. And then Godzilla's taken out. So I think I agree with Darin. If with all of like in that category of Godzilla movies, I would probably put this at the bottom because I don't have as much fun with it because I'm like Angela. I want more Godzilla. Like I do understand all the meetings and stuff and all this stuff. Like I actually appreciate that. I think that's as much as there was a shit ton of it in Shin Godzilla, I think it makes a lot of sense because as Darin said, it's very satirical and it's very funny. Just the way that like these people are just so over the top with like trying to figure out how to stop this thing they've never dealt with before in their life.
Godzilla himself is so funny.
Oh my God. The first time you see me, like, especially me going into Shin Godzilla for the first time, not knowing the stages of Godzilla. I didn't even know it was him. I just was like, what the hell is this thing? It's just spewing red goo everywhere and flobbering down the road.
It's,
like,
it's literally like, holy shit.
What the and then the end result of that, you're just like, what the fuck? This man can shoot lasers out of every orifice of his body? Holy shit.
Horrifying.
But I still had a good time with this. I think Godzilla looks good. I do like the fact that they go back to like the original. This is a true sequel to the original. I think it's for a long running franchise like Godzilla, I think it's good to do this once in a while, but it's always good to remember the goofier side of Godzilla and there's all those other ones. It's like if you're not a fan of these, you still have all those other ones, and don't worry, we'll go back to making the goofy ones even after this. So I think that's what's great about Godzilla is it's like there is a Godzilla for everybody. You don't have to love the entire franchise, but you can pick what you like. And to be honest, I'm just a sucker for it all. So I had a good time. All right, now it's time to go over to social media and see what you all had to say. First, we're going to start over on Twitter. Our first comment is from our good friends over at Dewey Podmonster, or at Dewey Podmonster, who just said, I think this was the one of the first Godzilla movies I'm guessing they ever saw. I picked it because Godzilla looked most like the Godzilla on the VHS box. At the end of the day, needs more Godzilla stepping on more people and buildings. We couldn't agree more. Darin just was very excited. So, at Colt Macabre said, loved seeing this original cut make its way to Max. A huge favorite of mine. Loved the Heisei era. I was very excited that the 80. I don't even think the 85 one is on Max. It's just this one.
Yep.
Good.
And at Screen Nerds Podcast says, as a kid, I watched the American version on VHS. It wasn't until 2016 when I got a Blu-ray copy that I saw the Japanese version. Well, I'm glad you got to experience it on the way it was meant to be seen. We didn't get any comments on Twitter or on Instagram or Threads because we have a new Instagram and Threads account because the original one got hacked. So if you follow us over on our original account, make sure to report it. Thank you. But we do, we have a new Instagram and Threads account. It's at Dissect That Film Pod now. So if you see us request you as a friend, it is really us. So make sure to leave your comments over there and help us get back to where we were from our last account. But thank you to everybody who left comments over on Twitter. We appreciate you so much. Darin, where can everybody find you and your wonderful shows?
At DW Lundberg on Twitter is the main place to find me. Again, we've got NOSTALGIACAST, which, like we mentioned, Dan and Angelo just were guested on our preseason finale. So we covered Godzilla versus Megalon, and great conversation. Oh man, when I was the thing is, when you're editing podcasts, and Parker, you probably feel the same way. Or you guys feel the same way. It's like I'm just focused on the editing. But when I listened to that Megalon episode when I was done, I was like, it's such a blast talking with these guys. I think so we just kind of it and same goes with you, Parker. These conversations, the reason we talk so long and I'm run the clock Lundberg is because we're having such a great time, I think. And I have a great time talking with you. So again, listen to that Megalon episode, get some of that. Back to Bluey, which Parker, we've got you listed as a guest spot coming up. So we're going to have you on that podcast. But obviously NOSTALGIACAST run with Johnny. Back to Bluey, I run with Robert Yanis Jr. And so, we'll just have those two podcasts. Again, find me at DW Lundberg. You can find links to our shows with that link tree.
Absolutely. The links will be down in the description. I'm going to link the Godzilla vs. Megalon episode individually, just so you guys can listen to that. Please listen. I loved it. It was a great episode. And then there was the other show I mentioned before that I'm going to plug as well. As for us, actually, before we get to all the other fun stuff we talked about at the end of the show, next week, it's more Godzilla, baby. We're going to be talking about 1974's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. And we got some, hopefully, cross our fingers, cross our toes. I'm not going to say their names because it'll be like Beetlejuice, but it'll be the opposite effect and they don't show up. So we got guests for that episode. And I'm very excited for those guests. So that's what's going on next week. As for all the other things that I hate doing at the end of the show, you can find us on the social medias. As I said, on Twitter, we are at Dissect That Film. Just go to our LINKTREE, / Dissect That Film. That'll have all the links, even our updated links to our new Instagram and Threads. We do have a Patreon, patreon.com / Dissect That Film. Words. Let me try that again. We have a Patreon at patreon.com / Dissect That Film. We talked about it earlier in the episode, but we'll talk about it again. You can financially support us. You can join us at the free tier. You can vote on polls. You can have access to our monster show called The Monster Zone, which is hosted by Dan and Angela, where this month we're going to be talking about a Godzilla movie. What Godzilla movie? We don't know yet. So stay tuned. And this will be the first month that we're going to be doing our Godzilla animated series coverage. We're going to be covering the first 2 episodes of Godzilla, the animated series from 1998. So make sure to go over there and join us. And if you can't do that, make sure to go to your favorite podcast app and leave us 5 stars. It really helps us out. It gets us into more people's ears, and we want more people to listen to our show, even if we don't think it's that great.
Come on, it's great.
Thank you.
You guys are great.
And if you want to watch the show, you can go to youtube.com/dissect that film, where you can watch the video versions of every single episode of this show that we have done for the last almost 4 years now. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube. We appreciate it. We're trying to climb up there to the 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting close. May not make it to the end of the year, but you could make it happen. It's free to do. It's free to do. Wait. Last thing I got to do is thank all of our wonderful patrons. Thank you to Billy Joseph Jr., Corey Morissette, Andrew Schoening, Jason, Dustin from the Flicks and Friends podcast, Daniel Collins, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, Doom Generation, Eric Stein, Robert Stewart, Rudy5453, Paul Jansen, Dennis, Charles, Bucket of Chum Podcast, Official Joey C, Movie Fanatic, and Anna. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon, and thank you to everybody else for just supporting us, period, because without you, this show wouldn't be anything.
Yep.
I think that's it. The last thing, let's sing a little happy birthday to Godzilla, because it's technically after Godzilla's birthday, but I'm wearing my Godzilla party shirt, so let's sing happy birthday.
Yeah, and as we're recording this, mine was yesterday. Oh.
Yes.
Hey, yeah.
Happy belated, Angela. Happy birthday to Godzilla. Happy birthday to Godzilla. Happy birthday, Godzilla, you big thick
G
boy.
Happy birthday
to Godzilla.
Yeah.
70 years old, still young as hell. All right. Until next time, I am Britt Parker. That is Dan Angela of DNA Gaming. And that is Darin Lundberg of NOSTALGIACAST and Back to Bluey. This has been another episode of Dissect That Film. We'll see you all again next time. Cue Godzilla Roar.